to episode 529 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for July 4th, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on, Dominic?
And it's hot as hell. That's what's going on. Yeah, man, this heat wave that's happening, I guess, around the world, like in different places.
This ain't a wave, Dominic. This is our existence now.
Oh, California, it's not that hot.
Yeah, it's like different zones. What they call a heat zone, and yeah, it's pretty hot. But yeah, it's just staying inside, cooling. Even though that's no different than any other day for me. So, other than that, it's been another hectic week in gaming. I know that we're going to get to. That's like, it's really gotten like, man, the news that has happened since Summer Game Fest. Like, how much positive news has there been?
Zero.
In gaming? Like,
absolutely zero.
Like, it's been like downhill. Like,
I've got one positive news story this week, Dominic, which I'm excited about. But that's about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, yeah. We'll get to that then. Okay. As far as sports, not really much to say. Orioles are still mediocre. In a mediocre league, which sucks because it's like, darn, if we were actually any good, this will be a runaway. The Yankees are actually sucking right now, but we've been losing too. So it's like we gained a few games, but not really enough. And yeah, it's just that I don't know what's the future, like what players are going to be here or not, because like at this point, like Adley Rutschman, I know our starting catcher who is good, but they haven't done an extension yet. And I'm thinking like, should we just trade him now? Even though he's like here for one more year after that. But after that, like if we don't got him, do we trade him now just to say this we can get something for him?
Right.
Like instead of just holding on and just get nothing, or if he could be in, something could possibly happen and he get injured and then we can't trade him next year. I don't know. I mean, I want him to stay, but if there's no deal to be had, then it's like you might as well. I don't know. Like I mean, that's like he's a guy I want to stay. I want him to stay, but yeah, but also let's get something for him. If it looks like that's not going to happen. But yeah, it's baseball. I've just been watching the Orioles play, really. But yeah, they just been like it's just so frustrating. Like every now and then, like the pitching overall has been good, but the bats have just been cold now, and it's well, I mean, there's not really much to say on that. Like I don't see it. Like it's funny. I say I don't see us making the playoffs, like as the team we are. But hey, it all depends what the other teams do, man. Like how they'll look going forward, because like we're still in it. And like some people are frustrated hearing that because like this is a bad team. But it's like, well, the league is bad, so I can't help. I can't help. I mean, the American League is bad anyway. But anyway, other than that, there's been other stuff happening. Oh yeah, NBA. It's been a lot of trades happening, but I'm not really into it. Like I'm just waiting to see if the Wizards are a good team. That's what I'm waiting for. I think there has been a trade with the Wizards, but I really don't pay attention enough to off-season news of a lot of sports, really. So in NBA particularly, I definitely don't, unless it comes to me. I know Jaylen Brown from the Celtics has gone to the 76ers, and people feel like that was a bad deal for the Celtics to even do that. And they felt like the 76ers basically fleeced the Celtics because they gave them Paul George, who is not as good as he used to be, and he's older. So, yeah, we'll see. There's been other trades, too. I know Giannis is on the Heat now. So, and LeBron is not going to be a Laker. next year. I was hoping he'd retire, but hey, there you go. Damn it. I wonder what's gonna happen with his son. That I'm curious.
So you say he's not
What?
going to be a Laker, but do we know what he's going to be?
No, no.
Oh,
He's a free agent right now. So I wonder if his son gonna be part of the package deal. Like, you have to bring my kid over with me, or what? I mean, I guess technically the kid is still a Laker. I don't know what his contract is, but
mhm.
um, when I say kid, I mean, he's technically he's an adult. but
It's grown
but yeah.
man.
All right. So anyway, yeah, that's it. So what happened with wait a minute. Did we talk about the pay-per-view last week or
We talked about the lead up to it because there were two
okay.
pay-per-views that were happening last weekend. It was the Saudi Arabia show for WWE Night of Champions. I haven't actually seen any of that show. I saw that Sami Zayn won the title, and that's exciting. Except it sounds like maybe that's basically getting reversed pretty quickly. Cody is already challenging him, I think, at this next Raw. I think they're doing it. So he may have the title for basically a week. I guess we'll see. And then Obafemi won King of the Ring, but he's like, instead of the title match, I want to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. It's like, okay. So you're going to forego winning a championship to fight that guy. All right. So yeah, that's going on there. AEW was a fantastic show. I did get to watch that. Um, two highlights basically were the Owen Hart Cup final matches. The women's was Mercedes Moné versus Maya World. Maya World is a woman who had kind of
it's
come
actually
in.
called Owen Hart Cup?
Yeah, they partnered with his widow. Actually, have his name on it and everything. Because she's very much against WWE and Vince McMahon for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Because of the way that they handle that situation. I mean, it wasn't even just the fact that her husband, died while performing with them, but then Vince was trying to basically blame him and everyone except himself and the company for what had happened there. So she is very much against. I don't even think she gets along with Brett, because of the way he ended up going back and some of the stuff surrounding that. It's a really unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
But AEW has kind of picked up that mantle and been able to. They have this tournament every year, kind of in his memory, and usually you get some really good stuff out of it. And this year was no different. Maya World, who came in as a substitution, ironically enough, Mercedes Moné also was a substitution. Whether she was a planned substitution or not, I don't know. But Maya World is a woman who came in as part of a tag team of kind of jobbers at the time. Was given this opportunity to be in this tournament and has basically showed out the entire time. And this match with Mercedes was absolutely incredible. Like, it was nonstop action, and they were both giving it their all. Mercedes did end up coming out the winner here, and this is her second time actually in a row. She won last year as well. And that affords her the opportunity to challenge for the women's world title at All In. Title currently held by Tekla. Tekla had a match against Starlight Kid, who is a representative of Stardom, because this was the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. So it's a lot of, I say a lot of, but most of the big matches on this card actually weren't a lot of those Forbidden Door style matches. But this is the one where they team up with Stardom, which is the women's Japanese promotion, and then New Japan and CMLL also, which is the Mexican promotion. But most of the big matches here were kind of inter AEW matches, being that it was the end of the Owen Hart Cup as well. And Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland were the final match of the night, the main event. And they just had an absolute barn burner, basically. Like, it was incredible. Both of those guys are fantastic wrestlers, but they're telling this really interesting story with Will Ospreay right now too. He was a good guy. He got put out by the Death Riders, which is John Moxley's group, kind of NWO style, where we're going to take over, but they haven't really quite gotten to that level. Didn't do a lot of recruiting. There's just about 5 or 6 of them. And they actually, Will Ospreay had to go out for neck surgery, so they wrote him off with the Death Riders taking him out. He came back from neck surgery, challenged John Moxley, and lost. And because of that, he kind of was down in the pits, and John Moxley and the Death Riders basically offered him to, train with them, the guys that took him out and broke his neck, basically. Kind of adopted him, and he's actually worked with them and become a stronger wrestler, and kind of started wrestling a different style too. Will Ospreay was a guy that did a lot of high flying stuff, especially in New Japan. It was a lot of kind of that high risk maneuver type stuff. He's gained a lot of weight, muscle, not like he's gotten fat or anything, but he's put on a lot of weight and started wrestling in the heavyweight division in New Japan before making his way over to AEW. But he slowed down the pace a little bit as such, and basically wrestles a slightly safer style now, but still very intense. And now with the Death Riders inclusion, he's doing some more mat-based stuff and things of that nature. And it's a really interesting story that you have this group that is essentially a heel group helping out this guy who is effectively the face, one of the biggest faces of the company, one of the biggest good guys of the company. After having been beaten down by these guys, and he's basically building himself back up, and now he's joined the Death Riders. They've given him an invitation to actually join the group, and he is basically wearing their colors and flying their flag now. And he defeated Swerve, so he is going into All In to challenge for the title. MJF was successful on this past Dynamite to retain his title against Mark Briscoe. Now, the interesting thing is Kenny Omega also has a storyline going on where he wants to win the championship, and now they're actually having a match between him and MJF on this coming Dynamite. And MJF made it so that if he loses that match, if Kenny Omega loses that match, he can never challenge for the AEW World title again, which is the same stipulation that Hangman Adam Page lost a match to MJF in about 6 months ago now, and we haven't seen him since. So that would make 2. I would actually make 3 out of basically the elite, the group that started AEW. Invalid, they can't challenge for the title because that group also includes Cody Rhodes, who had a similar stipulation, at the beginning of AEW. Obviously, he's not in AEW anymore, and there's a very low likelihood that he would be coming back, at least anytime soon. So obviously not really a valid stipulation that you have to worry about, but you do now, if Kenny loses, have 2 of that group of EVPs, executive, vice presidents that can no longer challenge for that title. And there's a lot of speculation that they're not going to have that same stipulation happen again, and Kenny may actually win the title here. Because they've also been telling this kind of side story of Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, saying like, hey man, you're like an incredible wrestler. You don't need to be involved with those bad guys. So AEW right now is doing an incredible job of having a lot of guys at the top of the card right now but being able to manage that and telling kind of intertwining stories along with the amazing wrestling that they do in ring as well. So that's kind of where their weakness was for a very long time and why people had kind of been down on the product. The wrestling itself was never bad, but sometimes incredible wrestling is not as incredible if you aren't telling a very interesting story along with it. Like, obviously the guys can do the flips and the kicks and the whatevers, but when that's not actually motivated by anything that you're showing on the television, then it kind of just becomes this lull. And they've definitely moved in a direction now, this past year and a half, basically, where they're lining everything up really well. You know, the stories are kind of hitting. They're still doing fantastic wrestling, and the idea that you kind of have these culminations now leading into All In, where some of their biggest storylines can have kind of the biggest payoffs at one of their biggest shows is really, really amazing. Yeah, I think Tony Khan deserves a lot of credit for what he's been able to actually pull off here with this stuff. So yeah, it's a good season. Also, Jay White came back. He is a guy that came over from New Japan, part of one of the later iterations of the Bullet Club, and kind of got injured relatively quickly after his debut and has been out for, I think, over a year. I think like 400 and something days at the point. And it's great to see him back. Right now he's involved in kind of the tag team stuff with uh Edge and Christian. Basically, they're fighting with another group of guys that came over recently from New Japan. And it seems like the Bullet Club Gold, which is Jay White's kind of splinter faction of the former Bullet Club guys, it seems like they're going to get all involved in that. But having Jay White there, being a guy that could potentially find himself in kind of the leagues of Will Ospreay, he already kind of called him out as well. So bringing him into that fold, once Will Ospreay wins that title, if Kenny Omega wins the title this week, having Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at All In will just guarantee a spectacular match, basically. And then the idea that Will Ospreay might win that title in his basically home country at, the biggest stadium there, because that happens at Wembley, and then potentially having a guy like Jay White coming after him after that, coming out of is just, it lines AEW up really well for what they've got, in the near future at the very least. So all very exciting stuff.
Yeah, man. It sounds like there's a lot, man, like for wrestling to look forward to.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we get into what we're watching. So the only thing I watched, the X-Men 97 is back. I watched the first episode. It was good. It was I really enjoyed it. It
Good.
continues from when the end of first season, when they both went to different timelines, like different X-Men went to different timelines. And the first episode starts with the future timeline.
Oh, okay.
So that's with Wolverine, Storm, Cyclops, Jean, and I'm trying to think, and Beast. I think did Beast? Oh, I mean, no, was Beast there too? No, he wasn't there. I don't think Beast was there. But I think, but Forge and Bishop are the ones who are coming to help them. Bishop went to the past. Forge went to the future. So Forge went there because he's still, him and Storm have a thing. Yeah. I feel like I'm missing. Was it just 4 X-Men? I feel like I'm missing an X. No, Morph. I think it was Morph. I think Morph was one. I want to say Morph was one of them. All right. But now the next episode. I mean, I don't know what it's 3 episodes that have come up. So I'm assuming the next one will be the past one.
Yeah, I
But it
definitely
could be
saw in
something.
the thumbnail one of them had apocalypse, but old pyramid
Yeah,
apocalypse.
and we'll see where it goes. But the ending of the first one really leaves. It has it's a lot going on, man. Like I like where they're going with this. Like this is pretty damn good.
Mhm.
And I mean, I saw Rotten Tomatoes got rated very high.
Oh,
Now
okay.
I
Nice.
don't know how they do it because it's like, are they seeing all the episodes? These critics, because I didn't bother to go. I just saw the commercial that said, "Hey, 100% tomato, whatever," and like I'm like, well, certified tomato,
There's an
not
asterisk,
certified.
and they're like, for the
Yeah,
first 3 episodes.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, yeah, what does that mean? But anyway, that's all. That's all I really saw that was new worth watching.
Mhm.
So what did you watch this week?
I saw Chad Powers is available on Disney Plus now as part of like the Hulu preview kind of stuff that they've got on there. And I
Oh
remember
yeah,
you
I
talking
forget.
about that show.
That would be Hulu. Yeah, that would have been Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah. And I watched that first episode. It's fun. It's very, very non-serious take about this guy who's decided that he's basically washed up college star. He made some very poor decisions during his last game, and then
He's
seemingly
not
his
really.
life after.
He's only washed up because of him. Like his play
Yeah,
is still good.
absolutely. Yeah,
He's just an ass.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that last game, it's the very beginning of the show, so. And I think we've talked
Uh,
about it previously, but
oh
basically,
yeah.
he drops the ball before he gets the touchdown, and the other team runs it all the way back, and they lose that game, and everybody's kind of shitting on him. Then he punches out like a cancer kid's dad over top of the kid,
Yeah.
knocks him out of the wheelchair. And then, that basically blows his entire career up. And then from there, yeah, like you said, he's just kind of an ass. It seems like he's finally going to get back into the XFL, and he's excited about that. And then the poor kid with cancer passes away, so he's back in the news again, and everybody's thinking about how big of an ass this guy is. So the XFL drop him, and then he sees that like some college team is doing open tryouts, and he decides that's the way he's gonna make his dad proud. The fact that he's like, "Dad, when you find out about this, you're gonna be proud of me." I'm like, I don't think that's true. I
No,
don't think no matter how good a player you are,
I know. Yeah,
he's
you're
gonna be
lying.
proud of you for this.
You're
So I think that
fake.
speaks to his mental state. But the first
Exactly.
episode is pretty funny. I don't know how long a tale that this kind of character has. I don't love the character that he portrays. He gets into this kind of like geekish, kind of backwardsy
Yeah.
guy.
I think that's what the problem I had with it was just that his character. I was like, did it have to be that? It could have just been
Yeah.
like he could have just faked like some southern. Like he had to fake like he's dumb, like
Yeah,
dumb. And I was
exactly.
like, that's like because you're already kind of dumb.
Because you're
So
already an idiot. Yeah.
yeah, so it just doesn't make sense. It's like you could just been I don't know, could have faked like a southern thing or something like from the boonies or something. I don't know. It was it was a little weird. That the take they decided to go with that, but the episodes I've seen, it was okay. It was all right. I
Mm.
kind of stopped watching because I think I wanted to know if they was going to have another season. So,
Right.
and I totally forgot to go back and check to see if it is. So, I mean, if you watch it, if you're finished, I'll start watching where I left off at. I still remember
I have
what
to
happened.
remember, now
Uh,
that I know that X-Men is on Disney Plus, I'm gonna have to jump back into
yeah,
to
yeah.
checking Disney Plus relatively regularly, and that'll maybe get me to watch some more Chad Power too. Now, I had turned on Amazon because I saw that Project Hail Mary was supposed to be on there on Friday.
Oh, you're supposed to go to Amazon and finish watching Spider-Man.
I needed as well. Because I've heard good things about it. You know, it seems like it's a pretty good show. Now, I think I was telling you that like I liked the color version initially. I've heard a lot of people say that like the black and white's the way to go. So I'd probably switch back to that. Yeah, but I did want to see Project Hail Mary, so I turned that on, and it wasn't quite up there yet. I don't know if it went up at like noon or something. But I saw that this new series was up there, Jury Duty Company Retreat, and I was like, okay, I remember the original Jury Duty. That was basically where they had a whole bunch of actors and then one real guy who wasn't in on the bit, and they were in a jury, you know, and trying to decide this case, and it was just a whole bunch of like situations set up to see how he would react, and it was obviously like a lot of just absurd stuff that the people around him were doing. And I really enjoyed that series, and now they had a new season basically, and I guess they called it Jury Duty to just tie it in with that original series, because this one has nothing to do with actual jury duty. This one is a temporary worker who's coming in right before a company retreat, basically. So they bring him in for like basically a day before they go into this company retreat. And it's basically like him kind of getting used to all the characters, obviously, at the workplace, and dealing with their interactions. The first episode starts out basically with the guy that hired him as his assistant, the HR manager, proposing to this woman in the company who was not receptive to it, because she was not aware that this was going to happen, because she wasn't in a relationship with him. Basically, at some point they had the conversation of like, oh, if we both make it to 40, you know, then we should get married if we're still single. And this poor woman just had her 40th birthday. So he decides that it's time to pop the question. Now the temp guy who's helping him set up the proposal and everything, he has no idea that this is, you know, that's the situation, and it's not, you know, some guy that's excited to, you know, some couple that's excited to have that moment. And it just it follows that kind of same thing all the way through. There's just a whole bunch of company shenanigans. The son, this is going to be the boss's last company retreat, because he's turning over the company to his son, and there ends up being drama there. And all the while, it's just this one guy who isn't in on the bit. But it's like I was telling you, I don't know how, if they have like footage on the cutting room floor and they've only edited it this way, or if there's like whole other seasons of this show that didn't work out because they picked the wrong person. But in the first season and now this season, like they picked the guys that are just like the absolute nicest dudes. Also like extroverted enough to keep the bit going without even realizing, you know, they're part of it. And just being able to come off as the best possible. Like they come off as like the genuinely coolest, nicest guys that will actually absolutely like end up being your bro, even though like this guy has known this quote unquote company of people who have known each other for years, allegedly, you know, for like 2 and 3 days in some of these instances. And he's just being like the chillest, nicest dude, trying to help everybody out and manage things, despite just being in the most absolutely insane of circumstances. So I think it's absolutely worth watching. It is funny. There are moments that are just like literally laugh out loud. But it also feels very kind of sweet and genuine, you know, with these guys and the way they come off and are portrayed the show.
Okay.
So definitely,
yeah, it sounds like funny. It sounds like it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the Jury Duty, the first thing, it's definitely worth watching as well. But I think both of these seasons, they've done a fantastic job.
All right. So I guess we get to what we're playing. So I've been playing Final Fantasy. Well, let me start with Final Fantasy 6. I finished that, and yeah, game was great. This is I definitely see what the people who are fans of that game
Is it the best
what they
Final
saw in
Fantasy?
it. Nah, they're not. I'm trying to think. What is my favorite Final Fantasy?
9,
10 was 10,
10.
10 was kind of my favorite one, but that's because they could talk and because they finally had voice acting. They finally had voice acting in the game. But no, that's not the only reason. But it was like between 9 and 10, like were my favorite, and 12 had a special place. But it's just that I like the overall dialogue flow of that game, but it just didn't have like a main character. Like it just didn't have a centralized character that's would kind of fall apart for me.
Mhm.
And but like gameplay wise, it was a like 9 and 10 were pretty good. Not that not 10. I like 10's like battle system. Nine's battle system was more just similar to Seven's. I mean, it was active time. It was active time. I'm sorry. It was more similar to when they first started active time and like the old the pixelated Final Fantasies. And I mean, so that was fine. I don't know, the material system in Seven's battle system was pretty good. Like I guess, but overall game 9 and 10. But 6 story wise, like just its adult themes and like it goes pretty deep with the characters and like how there there isn't a real main character. I mean, I guess the main character is um damn, forgot the people's names already. But the woman who you start off with. But and in reality, like I said, like the way they really go deep into these other characters, like they could have been all being between the main like sets of characters, they all could have been almost like main characters. I would say like at least four of them, 4 or 5 of them. That's the thief, the soldier woman, like who was with the bad guys and she came with y'all. Of course, the main woman who Tara, that's her name. The main character, I mean, the first character you started was Tara. Um, you have the prince and his brother, his twin brother. Like they really go deep in those characters, and they go deep in the other ones too. But those, like, I can see, like they all could have been like main characters, really. Like you said, the main characters. I was like, yeah, the ending is pretty open. Like you could just, like I said, you could just go actually to the boss, not even. I think like only getting maybe a few characters. I wouldn't like what's the minimum number of characters I would have to get just to fight
Mhm.
the final boss? Like, I would have to look that up because it's like you don't have to get everybody. Like, you don't have to get everybody that you had your party initially. There are a couple extra characters to pick up too, but but basically, like once you get to this, when the world has changed and then fast forward to so many years, um, you can just go like fight the boss and like, or you could do all this extra mission to get other characters or get other summons or what they call it espers and to build your party. I like that openness of it, and like there's a lot of secrets. I didn't do all the secrets in the game because I just don't have time to do that now, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of secrets in that game, which is in brings it kind of brings well technically Final Fantasy 7 would be like, oh, 6, this is a callback to like 6 or maybe 4, but since I Final Fantasy 7 is the first one, I see things that's very similar to that game, so now I'm like, oh, that's like pretty like similar there. Like for example, what was it? It's like, oh yeah, like me basically almost like I guess their version of weapons and stuff, like these special dragons that you get that you kill in the game. Like you don't have to, because I think I missed one dragon. I don't know what I would get if I had killed all of them, but it's always like those weapons in seven that you don't have to fight or something like that. Like that, it's pretty tough. But also I mean fights with them, even though well not for me because I cheated. But I can tell that it would have been very tough if I had this play like normally and not with like super XP or whatever. But but yeah, but yeah, the story, man, that story has really got me. Like I didn't realize how like deep it was. Like I was still thinking it's gonna be like four, like Final Fantasy four. That was one I had played, and which is a good game, but the story was pretty simple. I mean, like for a JRPG, I thought it was closer to that along those lines.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I can see, like man, like the late Nintendo RPGs with that and Chrono Trigger, like those were golden. Like I said, okay, yeah, I see. Like those games were great. And to go into PlayStation, like then seven started and things of that nature. It's like, yeah, man, that was JRPGs. Man, JRPG fans, man, they had it pretty good. They had it pretty really good around that time. Um, so I also went back. Since I finished that, played some more Final Fantasy 16. I couldn't tell you like how far I am in it because I don't know. Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I'm that far. I don't know if I'm halfway. I might be halfway. I have no idea. Like I never read anything about this game, so I couldn't tell you. But I did fight a guy that was like a guy who was a pretty like seemed like a big guy of the story, like pretty strong dude. And it's a pretty big deal because he killed someone that I knew, or so it was like, but but also he wants revenge. Well, no, he didn't. I'm sorry, he didn't. He wanted to kill someone I knew, but he couldn't because the guy who was a friend with he died already. So he wanted revenge on me, basically for killing someone he loved. He thought that Sid. Well, I was gonna say it. Sid had killed someone. He thought Sid had killed someone that he loved, and thing is, it was actually me. So when I got to fight him, and I took Sid's name, so because Sid died, but I took his
Mhm.
name because he's like the leader of this resistance and stuff. So I took the name, and he knew me. He knew who I was, even though like I'm kind of hiding who I was, but he figured out who I was. Like I was a former prince or whatever, and he said like he's mad, upset that that's been taken away from him. That he can get revenge, but I told him that I was actually the one that killed him, and
You're
I
basically
don't
like
regret
Jon
it.
Snow in this story, right? Aren't you like the Bat
Yeah,
Prince or something like
yeah.
that?
Well, what thing is, I don't know if I'm. I think I'm treated as a bastard by my mother, but I'm
Right.
actually her child.
Oh,
I'm her
okay.
child.
I'm just
So
not the favorite. Got it.
unless it comes out later on that I wasn't really her child, 'cause that's what I was thinking. It's like she treats me like I'm not her child, but they don't. Nobody says anything like I'm a bastard or anything.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I told him like, no, I'm the one who killed your lover or something. Um, even though they were lovers behind closed doors, really, because she was with someone. She was actually with the current emperor or whatever, lead
Mhm.
guy. But anyway, so he said, so he was kind of happy. He's like he get his revenge or something. But he's a strong dude. Like he has the power of the Titan summon,
Oh, okay.
basically.
It's
Like he
that
could,
guy. Gotcha.
yeah, and he's a big dude and whatever. And but that battle was awesome. Like that was cool. Like like they make the battles really like epic, feel like epic, like
Mhm.
in this game, and which like visually it looks really good. I mean, playing it, it's fine and everything. But yeah, like I thought that was pretty good, and like the story, like last week, I know I said yeah, like I like the dialogue better than Final Fantasy 7, but like it's they I don't know what it is, like how they choose the tone because this doesn't feel like playing this. I don't feel like it's like it doesn't feel like anime. You know, it doesn't feel like how dialogue was in 7, 15, and um 13. So it feels close. I mean, it feels closer to what 12 was. Like I always felt 12 was like it felt different. I was like, wow, the writing is different than what it is in the other, and then 10. Like 10, like I see some things and some things I cringe at. I'm like, what the hell is this? But it's like, oh, this might be just a cultural thing. It makes sense in Japan, just don't make sense over here.
Mm.
It's just not funny over here or something like that. But like this, like, yeah, it doesn't feel like it's written like in a way like anime-ish way. It felt like it feels more Western and the way they talk and everything. And I'm like, I wonder how that like I said, oh, like I wonder why they chose that. Which no, I'm happy with that. It's like how they how like what's the process with that? Like I don't know. I wonder what it's called. Like, is it like, hey, you write Final Fantasy 7 is going to write goofy like, or like what? I mean, it's goofy for to me, but maybe it's like I said, maybe Japan is all right. That's what about it. What's the there? Yeah, the tonally, like why the tone is so different, and then the flow of the dialogue is even different.
Well, you see, Dominic, before they wrote Final Fantasy VII, they watched the Marvel movies. And then before they did 16, they watched Game of Thrones. Like
Yeah,
the
I guess
early
so.
seasons, not the later ones that were.
Yeah, and that's what it's yeah, because this definitely feels along those lines, like a
Mm,
Game of Thrones kind of thing. But I like it. I like the story of like these
yeah.
different kingdoms. Like it's and like they're all. I mean, there's no good kingdom. Put it like this: there's no kingdom that's like an like JRPGs and Final Fantasy is like this too. Like there's a kingdom like, oh, we're all good, and it's like no, and here they're all kind of shit. Um, and I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like you know, I mean, I say it's shit, but it's like, I mean, in reality, you know, you're gonna have your problems with each kingdom and everything. But I
Right.
say this shit because they all cheat people with magic pretty badly. There's no king, yeah. There's not like one kingdom that's like, oh no, we treat everybody fairly equal. You know,
Mhm.
no, they kind of cheat. They either use them for their advantage or they treat them like there's some places might treat someone's worse. That's it.
Right.
But yeah, but they all hate each other too. I mean, because they're all what the power of the crystals. The thing is, I'm destroying the power of the crystals because the crystals are some reason the crystals that gave us the ability is also taking destroying the land. And I don't know what the story behind that is. I still don't know. Like, why is that happening? Like crystals usually are a good thing in Final Fantasy. Why are they bad in Final Fantasy now? So yeah, this story is good. And I really like it. It's very adult. It's like more adult than any Final Fantasy that I ever played. Um, so yeah. What else have I played? Oh yes, I also played some 007 First Light. Um, the new 007 game. It is called First Light, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just at the beginning portion of the game, and I am like you start off like you're in I guess you're in the military. Well, you were just doing like a training run, but unfortunately your helicopter got shot down and by some terrorist group or something, and that's how they the 007 place whatever MS was MI6
MI6, yeah.
yeah every time I say MS6 I think of Mission Impossible 6 or something, but there is a Mission Impossible 6 now. But like so they they contact you and they kind of like a person is talking to you, try to walk you through um like saving being like stopping the thing I sent over already got killed. So you and that's basically the training. That's almost the training run of learning how to play the game, and then you get to the portion where it actually is training. He goes someplace to train, and they treat you more of combat, doing that and driving, and that's the part I had stopped at. Like when I finally been officially accepted, in MI6, and yeah, man, and I'm just at the part where I'm about to beat Q. I haven't met him yet or her yet. I don't know what is it, him or her. But I I'm in the lab right now. I was walking around. That's where I just saved the game. But gameplay boss is fun and it looks good. Yeah, it definitely leans more towards Uncharted, an
Oh,
Uncharted like game. Yeah, which I'm definitely cool with.
mm. Over
So I'm
Hitman.
curious. What do you say?
Over Hitman, you mean?
Oh yeah, overhead, man. I don't know what's that mean.
No, over Hitman. Like
Oh,
it's
over Hitman.
more
Oh, Hitman.
Uncharted
Okay, got you.
versus Hitman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, they just haven't played a Hitman game since Solution, and I only played the tutorial of that. So
Yeah. Okay.
yes. But so what else? What else I was about to get? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it feels but I haven't. I have to wait till I actually can get to some more actual gameplay, like in a real mission, to really see like what can I do, like how open is it? Is it linear like Uncharted, or is it like just the kind of be it's linear in the fact that there's a story, yes, but I wonder when I get there, it's like, oh, is it just action when I'm shooting, or I can choose to be stealth? How's the gameplay? I haven't done that because I haven't really read much on the game. I just looked at the reviews numbers honestly, and just to see
Mm.
if it was good or not, and I saw there were good reviews, so I was like, okay. But yeah, so but as of right now, yeah, it feels closer to an Uncharted like game, but it's fine and it definitely looks good. But yeah, so I'll have to continue more playing that. And what else have I played? I think I played some Ace Combat. Play a little bit more Ace Combat. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything on other notes that I played. Did I write anything else up here? Because I don't got it on my screen right now. For whatever reason, I don't.
Oh,
Um, yeah, that's it.
where'd my
All right, yeah. So, what you been playing? Oh, I played some
I've
more
been
Star Fox.
playing
I'm sorry, I did play
nice.
Star Fox, and I did beat it in well at least one um run. I beat. I'm gonna
Mhm.
try to play it again to see if I can. I played on easy first, so
Okay.
I got a pretty good run because nobody died. And even though that boss was still kind of hard for me at the
Yeah.
end,
The last one?
um,
Okay.
yeah, but I did get past it, and now I'm playing it on normal, and I'm definitely people are dying, and
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
yeah. But it's definitely a different run than I played before, so it's something different.
Mm.
But yeah, so what you been doing in Star Fox?
Yeah, I was able to beat it finally. I think I was just going about that last boss the wrong way. I forgot, I guess, or didn't really realize or whatever that like I could shoot the monkey head and do damage to him. Because I was taking out the two hands, and I told you last week I feel like I got like this glitch where he just kept doing the vomit thing, swallowing up and then vomiting. And like I bombed it, I shot a bomb in there like 20 times and like it never stopped. But I think I was just supposed to keep shooting his face, even though it looks like there's like a barrier protecting him. I think you gotta like shoot his eyes or something specific. Um so once I realized that, even with not getting like the full upgraded lasers, although I also found that if I go like left the first time and then right all the other times, I can get two upgraded lasers, getting me the blue lasers to go into that fight. Um, And then once you're able to get through that first section without really taking too much damage, the second section isn't that hard. You kind of just get behind those eyeballs and you can take them out relatively quickly. And then it's kind of just managing his teleporting brain around to try and hit that back area to defeat him. So I was able to do that. I did a second run where I went kind of the lower path. I was trying to get the portals on Meteo, but I always miss that last one because you go through these like little gate kind of things and it spins your plane. So you got to like control it while you're also doing like this absolute barrel roll insanity. And it speeds up every time you hit one too. So I messed that up. So I ended up taking basically like the entire low route, but I got to use the Landmaster tank. And the first time I went through that level, I actually didn't get all the gates because if you hit all the gate releases, then the train diverts off into like their supply building or something and explodes and takes you in a different route. So the first time I messed that up, but I actually died during the boss fight, and then it took me back to a checkpoint before the gates, and I was actually able to get all the gates that time and shoot them into that building. I still haven't seen the level with Bill that's like Independence Day yet. I have seen the first Star Wolf level now, though. And then, of course, face them again on the planet. Still haven't made a run with everybody alive the entire time. Everybody's been taking a dive in there. There's an expert mode too, which I'm not super excited to play necessarily because I struggle enough with the normal mode. But the way you get that is if you get a medal in every single one of the levels on normal mode. And that to me just seems excessive. Like that's the kind of thing you should unlock just by beating the game once. So that people
that's what it usually is. Like in games,
you know, people that can be super into that hard experience don't have to play the entire game to the point of basically exhaustion, and then you expect them to do more runs once they've gotten that expert mode. It just, but I'm liking the game a lot. All the characters are still doing what they need to do. And the gameplay is just, it's fun. I do like, I don't know if I like them more or not, but I do like when they give you the opportunity to do like the free range mode and you can be a little more loose about flying and stuff. Friendly fire. I wish I could turn friendly fire off. The amount of times that I'm like,
I hate that for the N64. I hate it for the N64 version because I'm like, dude, I can't, like, I gotta aim at the ship, and it's like you're coming right across, and sometimes they come right across you, and it's like
right behind,
yeah,
Fox, I need your help, and it's like, all right, I'm trying to shoot them down, but I'm also not trying to shoot you down. Like, what do you want? What do you want from me here? So yeah, I'm having fun with that game. And then Final Fantasy 7. I'm getting to the point now where like all the robed specter type people are getting involved, and I see where that's going, mostly just because I remember from when this game came out, like listening to all the spoilers and stuff and kind of getting the idea of what they're doing there. I don't know what I would be thinking if I didn't kind of have a general idea. I don't remember specifically, like moments from the end of this game, but I do kind of generally remember what the idea is there. And I thought at the time, at least, it was a pretty clever way of subverting your expectations while also trying to like have them line up with the story of that original game. So I'm dealing with them. Some of those fights are just like, I feel like I've been fighting way too many of these things. Like, this isn't an action game as much as it, kind of portrays itself as such. And like, I don't know if I need to be fighting like 8 or 10 of these enemies in a row. Obviously, I'm not like running into random battles like I would in an old time RPG, but maybe let's limit the amount of time that I'm spending, doing. But I think that's still all fine. Jessie is getting to be less overbearing, Dominic, just because she's now found herself in a compromised position. And then what else am I doing? I'm now on my way to the second makeover, basically, is where I'm at. So I make my way, getting there, but that's about it.
Okay, I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, get to the flashback segment.
All right.
We're back. So now we're flashbacking to 2016, but we're doing covers. Where every month we do video game covers of magazines and see what they talked about at this time in 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago and whatever we can find them. Usually in the tens though. Like divided
Yeah.
as well 10. So since we didn't do last month, June, so we want to do 2 months. We're gonna do June and July with covers. So we're gonna start with June and see what they did 10 years ago in Edge magazine. And they have Mirror's Edge on the front. And there's actually 2 covers of Mirror's Edge. Because now I noticed I just saw the other cover. But this one of Mirror's Edge. And there's another cover of her
it was
just standing there.
supposedly like a redo / prequel / sequel. Is weird.
Yeah. She looks cool. She looks badass, and there's another one too. Look at her.
Yeah.
She's gonna kick some ass, even though all she does is run away from people. But it's like she does. She does kick and take like the gun or something. Actually, I don't know. Do you ever shoot or you just disarm them?
That's a good question now, because I remember at the end of that first game, you having to do a lot of gun stuff, and I don't remember if it was only gun avoidance stuff or not. Because like it was the same way with Splinter Cell, right? Like Splinter Cell, the entire game you can get through without ever really shooting a gun, and then you get to the very end of that game, and it's like, well, you have to use guns to protect yourself and defend this area, and it's like, but I haven't been using guns this entire time. And I still get hit one time with a bullet and I die. So like this doesn't make any sense that you would make this the final thing. And I remember running through like the server rooms and stuff, but I think it was just a disarm. I don't think you ever actually shoot it.
Okay. So what else? They got up here. They got Mirror Edge Dice redefines Mirror's Edge Catalyst, the first person action game. And they got up here Uncharted 4, Astroneer, and Gears of War 4. Astroneer, isn't that like a survival type of game? Or like building?
Yeah, I think so.
Stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
That might still be a thing, or unless there's an Astroneer too. I wonder if that's one of those things they just keep going. Also, they got reviewed Quantum Break, Star Fox Zero. Look at that, Star Fox Zero.
Oh yeah,
that's the better Star Fox thing. The one that nobody played. Sorry, Hyper Light Drifter, Adrift, Eve Valkyrie, Ratchet and Clank, Salt and Sanctuary, and Chronos. What Ratchet and Clank? Oh, this was the movie one, the one that came out.
I'm thinking, yeah, the reboot one.
Movie? Yeah. Is that anniversary for that? Wow. What else we got here? We got Game Informer. And we got Dishonored up here, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess we'll find out if Dishonored, if those guys still gonna be around or not. Or Dishonored 2.
Yeah.
There's Dishonored 2 up here. Yeah. But yeah, I finished Dishonored. And the thing is, the reason I haven't played 2 yet is because I was pissed off because I mean I cheated in Dishonored, but I thought I cheated enough where I did all the stuff and I didn't kill anybody. But I still got it where the guy was like, "Oh, you." I said, like something about you being a killer. So yes, I know what you had to do, but I just can't be a part of this. Like somebody like me to kill. I said, "What? I didn't kill anybody, and nobody found me." Well, actually, no. Oh, actually, I'm trying to think. Was it? Could I kill people and just that I couldn't be caught, or I don't? Oh, see now I forgot. Maybe I just did it wrong. Maybe it was I wasn't supposed to kill because I think I did kill people. I just never got caught. Like I was stealth. I was stealth and everything. But I don't know. But I just hate that. I hate that. Like with Metro, I just hate that. Like, yo, I still like make it something that makes sense. Like, okay, if I went in and did like a whole like I was just killing everybody, like I was just on a murder spree. Yes,
Yeah.
okay, you can do that. But if I just killed like a couple people or something like that, like come on, man. It's like, dude, this is they were bad people. What I don't know. Well, look, they were in my way and they were going to kill me. It's like, yo, I gotta survive. I'm not a superhero. It's like what the hell? But anyway, that's what like I always felt like I wanted to do that again if I could get the good ending. But yeah, Dishonored 2, this was the big deal because I just saw how people like that game. And yeah. And this is before they were in Microsoft yet. They were still just Bethesda. Yeah, Bethesda had a lot of things going for it. I mean, they had that Doom, of course, Elder Scrolls, Fallout.
Mhm.
And actually, there's 2 covers here. Actually, oh yeah, I didn't see this one. Yeah, look at that. It was nice. So yeah, so you played as 2, yeah, because you played as. Isn't this supposed? Is this supposed to be the girl grown up that you
I
play
think
as in this
so. I
one?
think you play as Corvo still, but then you play as like the princess or
Yeah. All right. So what else we got here? Oh, that's it for 2016 in June. Then we go into 2006, and we got Xbox magazine. We got Gears on the front. Man, the first Gears inside the biggest game of 2006. Look at Marcus, and we're going back instead of just finishing that damn storyline. Which now I'm just mad that they did it. I'm just mad they even did it. Like it's like why'd you even do this? If you're not even going to finish it off, if you're going to leave us with a cliffhanger and shit that you did it. You know who made it 2 different endings. Like yeah, I'm going to mention that every time I talk about Gears. I'm going to keep mentioning that because it pisses me off. But anyway,
and they're
yeah,
going to
we're
kill
coming.
that studio before they ever get to a conclusion.
Yeah, this is going to be the final game. The game that's coming up. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like E-Day is coming out the same year as like the 20 years at
Yeah.
basically the anniversary of Gears. Um, this is exclusive preview, the game that'll make you say Halo who? Oh shit.
Did
Xbox
Dom.
bags, they calling out their own games, man. What the hell? See,
Yeah.
that's what the time they said, oh, we don't got no competition. Our competition is within, baby. That's what our competition is. They ain't worry about no PlayStation because they just announced their $600 system.
Yep.
Um, what else is there? We love fear. First ever screens of Xbox 360's scariest FPS. I don't love fear. I hate that little girl. Hitman's back. Surprise! He's on Xbox 360. Exclusive review inside. And can't miss previews of Destroy All Humans 2 on Xbox. On just the original Xbox, apparently. Rainbow Six Vegas on Xbox 360. And you had that one, Rainbow Six Vegas.
I liked it,
How'd
but
you
I never
like it?
got that far in it. I
Oh, you
liked
never
it,
got that
but
far.
I
Yeah.
just never got very far in it, I don't think.
All right. What else we have? We got the official PlayStation magazine, and they got Mercenaries, World in Flames, PS3 World exclusive. I remember it. I remember the commercial. That was a good commercial. I liked the song. It was like, "Oh no, you didn't." It's like it was crazy. I remember me and a dude at Target because he kept singing it. Song. I like the first Mercenaries, and two,
Yeah.
I borrowed it. I mean, I like what I played. It was all right. I just didn't grab it. I think it just got old fast after a while. Um, and actually, there is two covers for June. I didn't even realize that. But let me stick with this one. Also had here up here over 40 pages of PS3 games and info. This is before the price stuff. I think the next issue was the prices, and
Mhm.
also a giant demo DVD inside with look MLB '06 the show plus Mark Echols getting up and Steambot Chronicles. I don't know what Steambot is. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I never heard of that game. And then, but anyway, um, the other cover is your boy Tony Hawk, the
Oh,
next
yeah.
generation. PS3 World exclusive. And
So sharp.
what Tony Hawk? What was the first Tony Hawk on Next Generation?
For
Was it
Xbox, I
Underground?
was at American Wasteland,
American Wasteland. Okay.
which I think American Wasteland was after Underground, so it
Was
might
there
have
Underground 2?
been.
Was Underground 2 right after Underground?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think those two came out, and then American Wasteland after that, and then there was that one Tony Hawk that was like more serious. Can't remember what that was called.
Right. So let's see. You got well, you got yeah. Well, that's all it says. Next Generation. So yeah, I don't know which one, but I know that was still like Tony Hawk was still pretty high. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. Like, what was it? Because I know Underground. I mean, people did like Underground. How did people like Underground too?
I think it was relatively positive, except for Underground 2, that was when they added more of like the Jackass stuff, a lot more
Okay.
Bam Margera.
Oh, so that was
I
that
think
one. All
generally
right.
it was fine, but I mean, for me at that age too, it was fine. Project 8, I believe, is the one that this is probably.
Oh, Project 8.
That was the
I,
more serious kind of take
yeah,
on
I
it.
totally forgot about Project 8. Good God.
I thought that game was okay. It was definitely not the worst of. It wasn't the low point of the series, but it definitely wasn't the pinnacle. And I liked American Wasteland too, even though I feel like a lot of people were down on that one as was the first one on the Xbox 360.
Look at that guy's run. What the? I'm sorry. I got some golf tournament going on. And this guy wearing like an American suit thing. Oh, it looked funny. Yeah, it's a lot of people wear American flag shirts. So there. Where they play? Oh, 81 degrees in Illinois. Oh, God bless them.
Mm.
Jesus. All right. What else we have here? We got Edge magazine for 2006, and we got look at her, Heavenly. What's it called? What was it called? Heavenly Blade?
Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword? Okay.
Yeah.
Heavenly Blade sounds better. That sounds better. That was going to be a sequel. Oh, but anyway, what developing on PS3 is really like?
A nightmare,
Uh,
apparently.
Revolution defined, hands-on with Nintendo's new hardware and Ubisoft slasher FPS Red Steel. Also bugging out is game testing still the best way of getting started in the industry? I don't know. I heard no, but a stalk in the park.
I don't know that it was then either.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really no think so. A stalk in the park. The tranquil heart of New York falls prey to a new alone in the dark. Oh yeah, I remember it was a guy when I was at IT Tech, and like he had got a job with the game testing and stuff like that. And I asked her, I was like, "So what game is to say? Oh, we're not supposed to sell the game." I said, "Okay, well, what game you testing?" He still wouldn't tell me. Son of a bitch. I'm like, dude, like, how would they know? It's like how would that ever get back to you? Like that you told
He
me.
knew you were a
Like,
games journalist, Dominic. He knew it.
like I didn't know. I didn't really. I said, dude, we barely know each other. We only see each other in class. So how would they even get back? And
NDAs are serious, Dominic.
I was like, you just complain how it pays shit. I was like, you just bugging out. Is game testing still the best way of getting started in the industry? Oh, okay. I just read that. What the hell am I doing? Giant Steps, the men behind Lego Star Wars, on a new episode in game design. Uh, yeah, I'm still pissed off they don't do online for the damn games, bastards. But they better do it now. What's their excuse? Their excuse is still gonna be like, even though we go full digital, we still want to do couch only co-op. Assholes. Anyway, let's see what we have. Here, Game Informer, 2006, and we got Assassin's Creed on the front. Man, this is like one of our first looks at Assassin's Creed. Conspiracy, honor, murder. I mean, this is like one of those anticipated games, man, that people wanted at the time, and they were pissed off because of all the flags they had to collect.
Got every one of them, damn it.
Yeah, I like because the look. I just like the graphically. Because I never saw the game in motion. Until like a lot later. But like, look, because I had this game for magazine, the scene, and I was like, man, this game looks really good. And it's like by the guys who did Prince of Persia, which I did like the first one until my cheat start didn't work, and I couldn't have infinite rewind to say at the time. But it was good up to then. But anyway, but yeah, I was pretty excited for this game. And I mean, I did like it. Eventually, man, when I played it, I did like the first one.
Yeah, the first one for me, I mean, obviously it was like visually spectacular. And I thought the world was pretty interesting, even though it was relatively, sparse when you think about it.
Yeah.
But I like the gameplay of it a lot. They gave you the ability to basically just climb everything. And it was like logical, right? Like it was like, hey, you have to kind of grab this sticking out block. You can't do these fantastical jumps. Like nowadays, they'll let you jump from, a wall all the way to the roof, even though the roof is sticking out like 2 feet behind you. In this game,
they watch those people climb the Empire State Building. That's what they were doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I like the stealthiness of this a lot more too. This is when they leaned into the like, okay, you got to do missions to be able to what am I talking about? When you have to do missions people. To do like intel basically.
Oh yeah, intel, that's right.
To then go and do the murder. And it wasn't just about like running in there and doing the murder and then running out. Like they gave you kind of like, okay, well, if you do that, this path is the way to get out of there and stuff like that. And now it's, I'll just go in there and fight them and whatnot and be.
Travel to see Bunker's world and do all these other things and collect. You thought the fags were great? Look at this. Look at all these other things you can collect now.
Feathers.
There's a variety.
Notes from your
But
sister.
what is it? Indiana Jones returns. Lucas Arts takes Indy to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Infernal Machine or something like that, maybe?
Yeah, I think is that one. Yeah. What was the one that was canceled? Was that on like the PlayStation 2 era that was canceled?
I don't remember. Yeah.
Feel the noise of Guitar Hero 2. Behind the scenes and look at the video game studio that rocks. Oh yeah, this was the one that really kicked off the plastic guitars. That's it for 2006. Now we go to 96. Nintendo Power, and we got Mario on the front here. And he's like, yeah, because Mario just came out in Japan.
Yep.
The Nintendo 64, N64 Blowout, 31 pages, Super Mario 64, plus Blast Corps, Pilot Wing 64, Shadows of the Empire, GoldenEye 007, Cruising USA, and more. Also, there's a Griffey contest. Winner plays ball.
I won that.
Oh, okay.
Play All-Star Baseball with Ken Griffey.
Okay. This was still in the Mariners too, right? So he was still good.
Yeah.
In-depth Olympic Summer Games. Also Toy Story. Also Epic Center, Dragonheart, Sword of Hope 2. Yeah, the Olympic Games. Yeah, this was the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. Yeah, in the US, man. Still my favorite Olympics. It was in the US. And it was when I was young. And now we got the World Cup happening. Don't care for it as much. But oh yeah, but go USA. I hope by the time you hear this podcast, they have upset whoever the hell they playing. I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who the country they're playing, but I hate them. I hate them, and I hope the USA beats them. All right. 96. Where we at here? We got another Game Informer, and we got, why the hell you got this one? We got this guy with this weird hairdo that just doesn't. I don't know how the hell he
Dominic,
did that.
that's
like,
Paul.
Yeah, I know it's Paul, but I was like, I always hated his hairdo, man. Like, like he was a big Will Smith fan, and he was like, "Well,
Yeah.
I gotta work this. I gotta do this hot top fan. I gotta get it to work somehow." And I guess with polygons you can, because you just did this go straight up. Tekken 2,
The way
the
it
rules
looks on this.
What?
Just the way it looks on this cover, the way it does just go straight up. It's just straight lines.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. But that's a great technology. Look at the hair strands. Each hair
I know, that's what I'm talking about. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, they didn't do just like a block and put it on top of his head. No, they said we're gonna do each strand of hair. That's how good this technology is. Tekken 2, the world's greatest fighting game, just got better. Wow, yeah, that's our praise. Also, special E3 preview, including Crash Bandicoot, Knights, and Marvel superheroes. Is that the first Crash Bandicoot? Is that really what they're?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, God damn. Yeah, it sure is. Yep, that's the Burial Killer right there, boy. Mario 64 came out, and then Crash came out, and it was like, oh,
I think if anything, he's the Sonic Killer, Dominic. Let's be realistic here.
Plus Legend of Oasis, Super Mario 64, Pilot Wing 64, Golden Axe, The Duel, and Project Overkill. Also, Sonic is back, Daniel, and he's ready to take on the Saturn and Genesis. I don't know what game he's back in on that thing, because I don't remember a Sonic, like a really strictly Sonic game, except for like Sonic Fighters or something. I don't even know. What the fuck Sonic game? I thought I saw 3D Blast, but I don't know if that was on Saturn. I thought that was just on Sega CD. And I thought it already came out. Actually, let me look that up. What Sonic game was on the Saturn? I don't got my. Never mind. You're gonna have to do it because I don't have my keyboard near me. I have a weird setup here where I'm at. All right. So where am I?
Sonic
here?
Jam, Sonic R, and Sonic 3D Blast.
So there was a Sonic racing. Oh, I think it was racing, but it was a car. I think it was actually him running.
Yeah, a unique 1-foot 3D racing game with Sonic R.
That's how it always should have been.
And Sonic
He would've
Jam
won
was
every-
an essential
won every time, though,
compilation
Daniel.
featuring the Genesis games.
He would have won every time. Wouldn't have been fair. So they had to use cars.
Put in cars.
All right. What else we have here? We got Next Gen Mag. And well, look at this. We got Bill Gates, younger Bill Gates, and Gates on Games. This is when he probably was talking about the Xbox, Daniel.
Yep.
Let me see.
Yeah, I
Actually,
thought this was appropriate, especially last week when we were talking more about the Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, but go ahead. What'd you say?
I was just saying, I thought this one was appropriate when we were going to do this last week with all the other news of last week. Because, you know, the headline here is Microsoft planning on taking over the games industry? And what the hell does Bill Gates know about video games anyway? I don't know. It seems like Bill Gates maybe had a little more of an idea of what to do with video games than Satya Nadella or whatever.
World exclusive. Oh, I guess this was the world exclusive feature. You have to get talk to Gates. And they got a little small print here, which in his first interview with a game magazine. This is his first interview with a game magazine, man. Never before has he ever talked to the game magazine.
That makes me think that that's not entirely true. Whatever.
Bill Gates reveals the strategy behind Microsoft's increased focus on the game market. Oh, and he also has a few things to say about Sega, Sony, and Nintendo.
That he does. They're all also, lovely people.
Virtua Fighter 3 exclusive pictures of 1996 most anticipated game. Really? I mean, I'm sure there's a big anticipation for Virtua Fighter 3, but I mean, come on, the N64. The Super 64 is coming. All right. What else we have here? We got. That's it. So that's it for June of the flashback segment. Now we're going to July of the flashback segment. And we're going to start with 2016. And we got PC Gamer, and they got, look at this, world exclusive Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3 on the cover. And yeah, Dawn of War 3, this was, people like Dawn of War series. It was a real-time strategy game. I played the first two. I never played 3. They were all right, but they were different. Like, each one was different. Like, the first one was definitely a lot more different than the second one. First one felt more closer to StarCraft, while the second one, it was more of like StarCraft if you were playing the missions where you had the hero and you were just playing with them. Mm-hmm. It wasn't so much you building. It was so much building like a base or something like that. A lot. Like that was the main thing. It was more of you going through with this one hero strategy and trying to work out like whatever mission you had to do at the time. I didn't really like that too much. I mean, it was still a fun game. I just said I wanted something more like StarCraft though. So that was kind of like the first one better. I never played 3. I mean, 3 got reviewed well, of course. But I'm surprised you chose this cover.
There wasn't really much in the way of the other ones, and I think aesthetically it looks nice.
Yeah, it does look nice. Yeah, you see basically the skulls of all the people. I mean, all of the people you could possibly be, basically.
Yeah.
Or kill. One or the other. Also, they have Morrowind resurrected, reviving the classic RPG as a Skyrim mod. Also, I mean, that's the one good thing about these mods, man. Like people doing things like that. That will always be cool. Also hardware monitors, the latest screens rated inside. Is that I don't know, is that speakers or that's just like the standard screens?
I think there's 2 other monitors behind the one in the front.
Okay, so that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, at
Um,
first I thought the same thing. It's like, oh wow, they fold out speakers.
what do we have here? We got review special, Dark Souls 3, Quantum Break, Hyper Light Drifter, and more. Down here, they preview Tyranny, Frozen Synapses 2, Tokyo 42. Frozen Synapses, what was that game about?
I think that was like a tactical strategy game.
Okay. Um, it's funny, I remember the Synapses part. I don't remember the Frozen part. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all this is on this cover. All right. So we got Edge Magazine, and we got it's two of them technically. One is just it's the Last Guardian. The other cover is just that with like minimum words on the front.
Yeah, cleaned up with that.
Yeah. But the Last Guardian, man, this was like a big anticipated game for a lot of people. When it came out, it was a little disappointing for some people. Um like because I mean these are the guys who did Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, and
Yeah.
I mean so people were looking forward to this, and this looked I mean the way the game it looked really cool. Like you watch it like you're caring for this big monster looking thing. And uh I don't I don't know why. Why was it like really high like on people's like it didn't get as rave reviews as Shadow of Colossus and Eco did. Like, well, definitely Shadow of Colossus. Like, why was it not as high? Like,
I think
you
there
remember?
part of it was just kind of how long it took to come out, and then I think the story of it all just didn't quite hit people in the same way. And I think part of that is probably that we had already seen, like we had already experienced that style of gameplay. So I feel like had it been like the first in that series,
Oh, okay, yeah, it would have been. Oh, I
people would
see.
have been
Yeah,
a
I
little
see.
more positive about it than with it having come out after, especially like you said, Shadow of the Switches.
And this
Basically,
wasn't always the title, right? Was it? Then wasn't this like a when we first saw this game? Wasn't it another title for this?
you
I
know,
was almost.
you saying that reminds me of that, I feel like, but I don't remember what the name would have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I felt like it was. I mean, I could be wrong, but it felt like that was always the title. But anyway, yeah, I remember always seeing this game, and like I was like, oh, look at this artsy fartsy game that everybody's going to just love. And when it didn't love it, I was happy then. I was like, yes, yes, we don't need these games anymore. I was like, because I was almost somewhat of an eco hater because this dude is. I know at school he always tell me like, man, it's a good game. I said, man, this game like shit. I said, I've seen the screenshots. And even the Game Informer would tell you, like, the screenshots don't do this game justice. I didn't care, Daniel. I said, well, the only way I can see it moving is if I buy the game. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
And a lot of people didn't. And that's a lot of people said, a lot of people didn't want to buy that game. I said, well, it didn't look good. I was like, it didn't look good, Tom. I mean, I'm glad y'all get to try it out for free, but I wasn't going to pay for it, and I didn't know what the hell it really was. And then when I finally got to play it, I mean, like as I'm older, I see why I like it. But I can tell you this: me back in 19, what was well, not 19, 2001. Yeah, me in 2001 would have hated that game. I would have been so mad that my mom spent money on that game, and I could have got another game. I would have been so like I would have been angry then. 2006. So we're going back to 2006. Then that was it for 2016. Go to the official PlayStation magazine, and I had this magazine, and I was a PlayStation guy. I was a PlayStation fan. I mean, and this is when I think I first stopped being a fan of consoles. Like stopped being a fanboy. Was PlayStation did it to me. Like they made me think, like, you know what? I don't want to stop being a fan. I'm just going to get what I can afford, and where or whatever the games are, the games I want to play is at. Like, because the reason I didn't even care about getting an Xbox 360 is because I was waiting for the PS3 to see what that was going
yeah.
to be. I didn't even care about what Nintendo was going to do, honestly. Like, I didn't even give a damn. I said, I don't care about Nintendo. they already made that ugly GameCube, man. I said, whatever. It's about the PS3. Waiting for that. And then when they announced $600 at the E3, I was like, oh my God. I said no.
Time to get an
I,
Xbox.
I was like, I'm gonna wait in a year and see what the hell happens. It's like if the PlayStation didn't go down in price, or the Xbox was like got more games that I want, then I will go ahead and get an Xbox. And my friend, he was an Xbox guy, and he would tell me, he's like, "Oh," I said, "So what you gonna do?" He said, "You still gonna get that?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm not getting this thing for." I said, "It's over, man." I said, "Like I don't know." I said, "I'm going to have to wait till it goes cheaper or see what the 360s got going, but that I want now." So yeah, that was a big like turn off for me. Like I just lost everything, and I was so mad because I was like, "Oh man, I can't." I said, "Damn, man, this thing got." It's like at first I was just thinking like maybe it's just like super powerful. That's what I was thinking. It's like this must be like a super powerful. Well, technically, I guess maybe some people say yeah, technically it was whatever, but nothing came out like really to show like, hey,
Yeah.
this is you should get this over a 360.
And it was hard to
Like it
develop.
was worth it. Like it was worth it. And people say, well, you had a Blu-ray player. I didn't care about Blu-ray. I didn't have an HD TV. And then well, at the time of this magazine, I didn't have a HD TV. I got one later. Like maybe within the same year, I got that big one that you helped me get in my house.
Mhm.
That had to be within maybe the same year I got a 360, but it was yeah, before I didn't have a 360 yet. But basically, yeah, I didn't have a yeah, because that TV ended up going to that new house too. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is before, yeah. So at the time of this magazine, yeah, I did not have HDTV, so I wasn't going to take advantage of anything. And then the TV I did in the beginning, that was a cheap HDTV. It was like because it wasn't even a flat screen. It was a big fat back. So like that, the Blu-ray stuff been nothing to me. Like because I was like, I don't see because I was like, I go to TVs at Best Buy. I say, well, it looks good, yeah, but it looks good on that TV. That costs a lot of money. Yeah, man, I was so disappointed. I was like, oh man, I said, why does it have to cost so much? But I mean, yeah. So this was like the killer thing. This was essentially almost similar to what Xbox did, and then at the next generation when they showed off their console.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like, but PlayStation, it did eventually like because it came down in price to be the same price, and yeah, like they eventually really just started, and I mean they took stuff out like you couldn't
I was gonna say they stripped.
backwards compatibility was gone. Because like that was a big deal, and I mean that was what got me still on the edge was the backwards compatibility. It was like I can still put my PlayStation 2, but then I was like, well, I still have my PlayStation 2. Like my PlayStation 2 is still good. So, I don't need to. It's still not worth it. Um, but I mean, eventually I got one when they went down in price a lot. Like I went down to like $300. I want to say, and yeah, I think God of War 3 had came out. So that's by the time I got into PlayStation. But yeah, this was like killer. And then in like when I found out about the Wii, it was like, man, you can get a Wii and an Xbox 360 for the same price as a PS3. And that really killed it. Like that really just made. I mean, that's just really like just killed my momentum. Like anything I had for PlayStation was like, don't care anymore. Like I don't care. So I'm not. Yeah, it's like darn man, I got these two systems now. Well, I bought a Wii first. Yeah, I went cheap. First, I bought a Wii because I was like, oh, this is something different and it's cheap as shit. Let me go ahead and get this. Had a good time. Then eventually I got the 360 from Glenn, who ended up selling his, and yeah, and I just was good for a while until whatever year God of War 3 came out. That's when I got a PS3 when they start doing a new branding. With the PS3 Slim. Well, no, actually, no. The PS3 Slim wasn't the first one I got. I think I got a used one. I did get a used PS3, a fat one.
Yeah, that's right. I got mine off of eBay.
Yeah. I think I got a fat one used. And then what did I do? Did I sell it? Why did I get a Slim?
For me, mine broke and I had to send it to Sony, and that was the second time I think I had to send it to them, and they were like, "Well, we don't have the parts to fix this backwards compatible one anymore, but we can send you a Slim." And I'm like, "Fuck this."
I don't remember why I got a
That's
Slim.
what I'll take.
Because I still technically had a fat, but I ended up throwing that away. No, I did sell it. I thought I sold it. I can't remember. Dang, Jesus. I felt like I felt like I did sell it because I think, yeah, because I remember I got came in and bought something for me. And I was testing the game out. Yeah, that's right. I did sell it. Yeah, I sold the fat one. All right. So anyway, but yeah. So up here, sneak peek at 10 PS3 games: Final Fantasy 13, Metal Gear Solid 4, Assassin's Creed, Indiana Jones, and Resistance: Fall of Man, which was a launch game. Yeah, Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, I was a little upset because I was like, man, I mean, that's because I was thinking like, 'cause I want a Final Fantasy still, and I was like, darn, that's exclusive on PlayStation. But thank God, oh man, when they did that announcement of Final Fantasy 13 going to be on Xbox, I was so happy, and I was like, oh my goodness. I said, I'm never going to need a PlayStation. Didn't realize that I didn't like that game anymore. I didn't like Final Fantasy. Yeah, I mean, not anymore, but I didn't like that Final Fantasy. I was kind of over it. It was like, oh, this ain't my type of game anyway. So, um, I was upset by Metal Gear Solid 4 though. I was like, darn, I do want that game, and that's PlayStation. And I remember they used to say this can only be played on PlayStation. Like the power of the PlayStation was the only way you was going to play that game. And that's what got me. It got me kind of believing it because I was like, darn, maybe it is worth that money to play this incredible game. But I just didn't do it. I said, nah, it's too much money. It's too much money, man. I mean, at the time, man, like, good God. Yeah, $600 back. Oh my Jesus. Hell, I'm at $600 now, Daniel. Just take the $600 then. All right. All right. Well, what they got? Playable demos, including Cars. Oh, you can play Cars, Daniel. Based off the movie. Also Pac-Man World Rally, Urban Chaos, Riot Response, Urban Chaos. I totally forgot about this game. I know the title, but I don't remember what it looked like. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm looking up Urban Chaos. Remember if I'm familiar with it or not.
All right. So.
Oh yeah.
What'd you say?
I said I don't remember this game at all. Game.
All right. What else we got here? I guess we're going to Edge Magazine, and we got. Look at this, the other console, the Wii. Look at the Wii remote up here, Daniel. That's a nice cover. I like that. And the Edge part, I wonder if this was another double cover. I just don't have it up here because I can barely see Edge. I would think like there's a cover that has like like words up there or something. But anyway, But no, this is pretty cool how they did that. But yes, the Wii. Um, the other console that came out, the one that's $250. Like that's another thing. I mean, you come out, you name your price the same time at E3 as the Wii names theirs, and at $250. Now, the Wii is definitely less powerful. It's more closer to what the last gen was, but with the uniqueness of it, with the remote and everything, I mean, and it's still Mario. It's still Nintendo. But like the way they showed off the Wii Sports, which comes with the system, by the way, this is not a game you buy.
Hack in. We haven't
And
seen for
like, yeah, a pack in that's like a legitimate pack in where it's like no extra money at all. Um, yeah, that was like, what the hell? This is something cool. And it's like, and it's not a deal breaker really, because it's like $250. It's like, it's not something that really breaks the bank. It's not like it's $400, 500 or something like where you have to really think about like, oh man, do I want to do how this? It's like, what? Say, look, man, I tried 250. I mean, I ain't say it's throwaway money, but it's hey, I'm not gonna feel too bad if it turns out I don't like it. But there's places where you could try it out and stuff. It's like, hey, it's worth it. And man, that shit's so like hotcakes. Like that was selling out like crazy.
I mean, that was what,
Wow.
like literally like we had a new launch of the game every time or the system every time it appeared in the ads. And that was the time we had them at Target.
Yeah, I didn't finally get one until the following year. I mean, I didn't get one until 2007. And I was trying to get one. It wasn't like I wasn't looking. I was trying to get one.
And we got them.
I didn't get one
We got ours at the same time, right?
No, I got mine at
No.
I got mine at Toys R Us on Route 40. What it was when Toys R Us was at Route 40. I remember because Foot was going because I think he had called or I called. I think I called and then I told him, and then we went and he got like 3 of them because he ended up selling 2 of them. And
Maybe
I
it was
got
Glenn that I went with to get that, because we went over to the other.
I mean, I went with you to try to get one, but we couldn't.
Okay.
Like it wasn't available, and then we could have stayed at Target and actually got it the day of. We thought the line was too long, and like we thought it was going to run out. And then I think Jeff or something said like, "Oh nah,
they stayed and got one or something like
Yeah,
that."
yeah. They say they you still could have got one. I was like, oh man, we should have just stayed. And
Yeah, because I eventually went to the Reisterstown one and waited there after our shift and got.
but yeah, that
came out, but
yeah,
it was several months.
yeah, exactly. It was like that. Yeah, that thing was just selling. If I want a PS3 though, I could get one. I mean, it did sell out initially.
I've never seen a
launch.
console sell out the way that thing did. Like it really was incredible. The hot streak that Nintendo was on for that thing.
It was like I've never seen that even for that long. For that long,
because it wasn't like they didn't have stock of them. They would have a decent amount of them every time it dropped.
Like sometimes it'd be like a full
and
pallet.
Previous to that, like the 360, it was hard to get at first, but eventually, it showed up every.
By the time, if I really wanted one, I would have got one. Yeah, definitely sooner than that. Like, or somebody. Well, I should say somebody who doesn't work in retail. They could have got it. Yeah, the Sendo, man. I mean, it was at some point in February hearing people like having a hard time getting it, like deep into February to March. Like that was crazy. Because the senior citizens liked it too. They were all getting it.
Exactly.
It's right, what else we got here? We are that is it for 2006. So now we're in the last year, 1996, 30 years ago in Game Pro. And we got Vapo always had these fighting games, Joe, back then.
Yep,
We
every
got
time.
Mortal Kombat Ultimate 3. And I
It
guess
was
this is to
always the
tell you,
same art
like,
style too.
yeah. I guess it's to tell how prominent fighting games were then and how
Yep.
they did a lot of re-releases. And I know some people will compare that to now, like, hey, you had to buy a new game to get some new characters. And yeah, I guess so. Even though for me, I guess as a kid, I didn't think about that. I just got one game and that was it. Like I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
get like whatever Mortal Kombat I would. I mean, if I had gotten Mortal Kombat, I guess it would be Street Fighter for me. I had Street Fighter Championship Edition. I never did get Super Street Fighter. I said I wasn't gonna get another Street Fighter until it was Street Fighter 3, which by the time that came out, I was already like in high school. Like this, so or middle school, like middle school, high school. But I didn't really care about Street Fighter by the time Street Fighter 3 came out. But yeah, it was just be I'll wait for another one, or I mean, I guess I'll have to wait by couple next year or something, or a couple years or something, whatever the next Mortal Kombat come out. But it's still it was different. It was still different. Still, I guess you would have to go by price comparisons to see like, hey, is it better to do what they're doing now compared to then? No, because I still think it's a little egregious what they charge it now because how they charge for cosmetical stuff that really they could be making money on where they actually could probably give you the characters for free and like still make their money. So I think that's pretty bullshit. Because yeah, if they just charge for cosmetics, they can say, "Hey, you can have the character, but you have to buy the outfits." They'll make their money. Like
Absolutely.
so. Yeah. Right. So where are we at here? There's a lot of shit up here. Right. Saturday review. All the also got all the moves. So there you go. You don't have to buy your strategy guide. Just buy Game
Oh
Pro.
man.
33 reviews. Also, they got Tekken 2, Toshiden 2, Ironstorm, Blazing Dragons, Guardian Heroes. Excuse me. The hiccups. Also have previews of Iron Man / XO Man of War. Iron Man. Oh, Iron Man game 96. What is that? And Man of War, isn't that He-Man?
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I don't know what this is.
I remember this game, Dominic. If you saw the cover here, let me see if I can link you the cover real quick. I feel like you would recognize it. It almost does look like the guy from He-Man. I'm gonna put it from the retro because I think at this time I wasn't really that familiar with Iron Man outside of maybe like the cartoon
this
or
is
something.
actual
Like that. I was
game.
like,
I don't remember this game at all.
No, okay.
This is no. I think this isn't that the He-Man guy though? Did they really just? Put
That's
those
what I'm
two
saying.
together?
Like it does kind of look like the He-Man guy. I don't know if it's an actual crossover.
I had to look this up. They did a crossover, which is funny because now He-Man is DC.
Yeah.
Like DC does his comics. But yeah. Okay, Project
Apparently,
Overkill.
Exo Man of War was a comic book from Valiant Comics.
Okay.
But yeah, he does look a lot, at least in the video game, he does look a lot like the guy from He-Man.
Clay Fighter 3, Xeon
Man.
Flux. There was a Clay Fighter 3? Oh, I know there was 3 of them. Xeon
I
Flux,
just
I know
thought it
that's
was
the
Clay Fighter
anime.
3D.
Huh. This is the 7th anniversary of GamePro, apparently. And we're talking baseball. We're talking baseball. Who is at the angle? Okay. Triple Play 97. I had the Triple Play. That's the Triple Play. That's the only Triple Play I ever had. It was on PC. MLB Pennant Race. I couldn't tell you what's on the front because even then I didn't know because all I really knew was the Orioles, and it wasn't an Oriole. I want to say it was a guy who was. I know it was red. It was a red uniform, so he was either on the Reds or the Cardinals. Like he had a red helmet too. So I was either Reds or the Cardinals. I don't know which team it was. MLB Pennant Race, VR Baseball. Frank Thomas, Big Hurt Baseball. There we go. Yeah, now I'm seeing Frank Thomas. He's always doing that testosterone commercial thing that teaches me how to please my lady. But Robotech is coming. Oh, to N64. Yay, Robotech.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever watched the anime. I don't think I ever.
This one was another cell shaded thing, and I was like, "Oh, that looks dope! I'm so excited!" And then it just
cell shaded for N64.
No. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the GameCube one that came out.
Yeah, I was about to say. I remember that one. Yeah.
Excited for that one. Yeah.
They got up here Tekken 2. They got a little screenshot up there. Project Overkill, Sonic Extreme. What the hell that is? What is that? A Saturn? One of the games you said, was it?
No.
Yeah. I wonder if this is like a cancel game or something. Pilot Wing 64. Dee Sindel. Look at her sexy old ass. And then you have, what's his name again? Khan?
Shao Kahn.
Yeah. I knew he was one of the Khans, Daniel. Well, I mean, it is a Khan. Like, isn't it like a Crotal Khan or something like that?
Yeah, it's a title.
And then Genghis Khan.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
So
okay,
does that mean Genghis
Sonic
Khan
Extreme was canceled in 1996.
Okay, so look, yeah, that's all right. It is a canceled game. Sure, they just showed a screenshot of it, and they got canceled.
And in place, they released a port of the Genesis Sonic 3D Blast.
That awful game. Damn, ain't that a damn shame? And then missing something. Okay, let me scroll up. And Edge magazine for 96. We got Mario here. It's that Mario face you see at the beginning of Mario, but they all pixelated and messed it up. But really, yeah. This is
because he's got so many dimensions down there.
I was about to say they speak another language, but I think
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't speak
Italian or something.
32-bit. Damn.
Get out of here with that garbage. We don't need 32-bit anymore.
64 redefines 3D video gaming. Yes, it does. Shigeru Miyamoto's Mario series is the epitome of brilliant game design, encompassing superb control, intelligent structure, and almost timeless scope. Edge reports from E3 in Los Angeles, where the most significant game of the decade was unveiled. Just how good is Super Mario 64? Man, it was great, man. It was one of the best games on 64, even at the end of the 64 cycle. that's crazy. Yeah. They ain't got really much up here, but yeah. Oh, this is the biggest issue ever, apparently. Look at the holographic sticker thing.
I see.
Holographic stickers were huge back in the 90s.
Still show me a holographic sticker nowadays, Don. On Pop 4.
Oh yeah, I was looking at an old Red Letter Media, and they did one with Star Trek. This is like his first one. This is the first one he ever did, where he did the Plinkett voice, and it was talking about Star Trek Generations, and he was talking about because how he hated that movie. He's a Star Trek fan, and how that movie was bad. And which yeah, all the early Star Trek movies, well, Generation ones, they were already bad. But I think even most of the old Star Trek movies were rated bad too. I don't know which ones were rated good. But anyway, it was a part where Captain Picard because he's kind of old timey, so he has a lot of things that's kind of like old. Like he has an actual photo album instead of like like a digital thing they would have in the future, or something like that. And he has like old artifacts and stuff like that. So he's a photo, but the photo album, it's not only is it a picture, but it's like a hologram thing on the border of the picture. So I guess it to be like it's futuristic, and then it's like, why? Like, how does this make like they have to be here? What it had to be like a space picture or something? Like this is what it is. It's like, oh, it's the future. We put hologram
pictures
borders
in the
on our
future look
pictures.
like.
Yeah, like wait a minute, what? It's like no, like like it should just be just a picture. Like that doesn't even make any sense. That nobody would do that. But yeah, that was pretty funny. All right, that is it for the flashback segment. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news, Dan. We had some good news because we had a lot of bad news last week.
We're going to start out with the bad news here, Dominic. I hate to break it to you. Somehow Sony decided that Microsoft was doing too good a job of killing itself. So it decided it wanted to join in on the fun. Sony has decided that it is going to stop selling physical media for its games beginning January 2028, which in reality is a lot sooner than you think, right? Like it's only 2026, but also we're already halfway through 2026. If they drop a console next year, like it sounds like they're going to in 2027, that console's not coming with a disk drive then, Dominic, right?
No. Hell no. I mean, unless this outrage on Twitter, which Xbox listens to Twitter, maybe Sony listens to Twitter.
Maybe, yeah. We'll get Project Helix with a disk drive before we get Sony with a disk drive. It's kind of crazy that this news came out so quickly, considering the fact that last week we were just talking about how basically Grand Theft Auto coming as a code in a box was kind of the death knell for video games on discs. And now here we are. I mean, it's basically official. I don't know if there's going to be like some kind of transition period where Sony's going to be like, okay, we'll put a card in a box with a code on it for people to still purchase, or if it's just going to be, okay, buy it from our store.
Or like a paper cutout of like a disc to make it look like a parrot, like you have
exactly. You and I have both been on the side of digital games for a very long time now. It is a convenience factor. For me, at the very least, I don't want to have to move any more video game boxes if I ever move ever again. I have decided that. Same with DVDs, same with Blu-rays, same with all that stuff. I don't buy any of that stuff anymore. I also just don't buy movies anymore because there are streaming services for that. Now, along with this announcement, obviously the internet was up in arms because this means preservation is not being taken seriously by Sony. And of course, prices may go up because now they are the only game in town, right? Like if their store is the only place you can buy that stuff, then yeah, so prices will go up. I won't even say may go up. Now that's an interesting thing because obviously Valve has the PC gaming market on lock, right? Obviously you have some competitors. You have the Epic launcher, you have GOG, which does offer DRM free games. And GOG is basically the closest thing you get to quote unquote owning a game nowadays, right? Like they give you an executable that you can do whatever you want with. You can move it between drives. You can put it on a floppy disk. You can put it on a CD-ROM if you want. You can do whatever. Now, even before GOG was like a serious competitor, and I still don't know that they really are to Steam, and before Epic came along, I still saw good prices on Steam. I don't think Sony having kind of exclusive rights to selling these games is necessarily going to mean they have to, leave the prices at $70 all year round. Now I've seen people argue that, you have like Green Man Gaming and stuff like that. You have these third parties that sell Steam keys. I don't understand what would stop a company from doing that same thing with a Sony game. I don't know if there's something in relation to the way Sony provides codes to developers that would keep them from being able to do that. But to me, and this is a conversation that you and I were having before recording, the ownership argument is not, we aren't genuinely talking about that when we're talking about discs not existing, because for a very long time now, discs have not provided ownership. They have not provided you a copy of the game as you want to play it. We've talked about that a million times on this podcast as to the argument of why discs aren't really relevant anymore. In those cases, obviously there are some fringe cases, and maybe they aren't so fringe, but where internet connectivity is an issue and having the ability to download something the size of a modern game in the hundreds of gigs, could be an issue for some people. And that is an argument I will entertain. The argument that I am not willing to entertain is that by Sony killing off physical media, they are killing ownership. They did that a long time ago, and nobody fought back with the furacity that they needed to. They lived in their blissful ignorance of, if I buy a disc, that means I own this thing and I can play it 20 years. That's absolutely not true.
Even back in
has
the
not been
late
true
90s,
for a very long time.
The late 90s has been like that, apparently.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. And I guess you call me one of those blissful everyday guys. I'm not saying that. So but I also wasn't fighting against like digital. Like I was also fighting like, physical has to be the way. Like that wasn't the reason like you said before, that I went to digital is because of convenience. Like I like digital. Like I wasn't hating on physical. Like if people wanted physical, fine. But I wanted digital because I didn't want to keep changing disc. Because it was at one point where, like me, not really, like me and my friend were not really into tech like that. Like we like gaming and stuff, but we wasn't really into tech. Like we were just thinking like, the future of game is going to be, I guess, CD changers. like we could put multiple games in, so I don't have to keep changing. And then when I start seeing like games of hard drives and stuff like that, and things like that nature, like when Xbox were talking about a hard drive, and on the game, I said, what if the games just be on hard drive? So that's the logical step. So I just wanted so I don't have to keep getting a disc. It's like that's really what it is for me. Like I just wanted to just be able to play the game. Now, like the preservation thing, I didn't think about that. Because I never thought of a thing of its games going away or anything. But now knowing that the license thing was there for that long, people who were into that, or they claim they are, I should say, that's on you because you didn't fight for it at all then. Like, because you're telling me that that's what you're into, preservation, right? Like that means you had the knowledge, so that means you knew that they were doing this all this time, and like you said, they lived blissfully ignorant like they were, and really you didn't. So that's a lie. You didn't look too much into, and
no, you just wanted a thing on your shelf. Now there are companies, there are corporations or organizations. I guess I think they're a nonprofit technically. But like the Video Game History Foundation, those are people that are actively working to preserve video games and fighting for legislation to get some of that stuff protected. I think, I was telling you beforehand, I think especially when I think about it now, the games when we were younger, obviously were much simpler. So it was just when a game got old enough to us, Dominic, there was just an emulator that would play that game. And I think to some
I
extent
lost you.
that still exists, but the
Hold on,
level of
Can you
work
go
that
back?
was required.
Because I didn't hear what you said. When you said when we were younger, that's when
When
you
we
cut
were
out on.
younger, the games were older and less complicated. So to us, emulators just existed. All those old
Yeah.
games we could just play on our computers. Like once
Oh yeah.
once we got computers, those games were just already there waiting for us. And obviously as games have gotten more complicated, emulator development has gotten more complicated. I don't stay in the know about that stuff as much as I used to, because like these are now games that like I played in a contemporary fashion, and like I played them and I'm kind of done with them. I'm not necessarily going back to revisit the Xbox 360 version of Gears of War or Mirror's Edge or whatever other games we were just talking about. I'm looking either to new experiences or like super old experiences where I'm like super nostalgic about. Stuff like that. And to me, that's where the idea of preservation has kind of always existed outside of these corporations that have clearly never cared about the preservation aspect of it, only coming occasionally in to benefit financially from it, either via remake or remaster, or in Nintendo's case, releasing that stuff as part of like an online archive type thing. But even then, you get spoon fed the occasional, drip feed here and there, and you don't really get that many games on that online service when you really think about it. I mean, the Nintendo 64 aspect of it or the GameCube rather, has come around since the Switch 2. And how many GameCube games have we actually gotten from them, even out of the promised games?
10. It's not even 10, right? Like it's below 10. It's like what, 5? Maybe, or 4?
I think it's slightly more than that. It might be like 6 or 7, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't count the ones that give you 2 of.
No, I'm definitely counting those.
Like what's like Chibi Robo? I think there's like 2 of them or something like that.
Yeah, I think like Soul Calibur 2, there's like 2 versions. I'll be right
man.
back.
Yeah, because it's like the PAL version.
All right.
All right. Go ahead. We were talking about the
So
preservation.
yeah, with these companies never having really taken preservation seriously, I've never taken the idea of them being the ones taking up the lead of preservation seriously. It's always been in industrious human beings outside of that. And obviously, like, the cry of piracy from these companies has always been something that I've laughed off. Like, I don't take that stuff seriously. And I understand, like, a game from this generation, if I'm downloading like a Switch 2 game, like, yeah, there's a level of like, I shouldn't be doing that. But the idea that, like, if I'm downloading a Super Nintendo or a Game Boy game, that in some way, shape, or form Nintendo is losing anything from that, that always seemed laughable to me.
That
Um,
that is definitely laughable. That is beyond laughable.
and if you want to go down the route of like, yeah, we should have some protections in place so that these games can exist in the future, I am all for that. But I don't think that has to necessarily be married to the idea of physical media. And I'm not going to besmirch you for wanting something on your shelf. Like, sometimes it's cool to just have something on display that shows what you're into. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you're really just like that into that, just get some blank cases and print out some cover art and put them in there. Like, it doesn't have to mean there's anything in there. You just have to accept that at a certain point, that's what you want, and it's got nothing to do with the actual preservation aspect. Because to me, it would be far nicer to just have a digital collection of all of the games that I've ever owned in one quote unquote central place, and for me to access them at any point on any kind of piece of hardware that I want, essentially, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So this idea that the physical disc has to remain around in order for us to own things, I think is silly. And I think the argument for the longest time has been wrong. And I think this is only going to prove that more. Now, that doesn't mean that the argument shouldn't be had, the actual argument shouldn't be had. It absolutely should. These games, either, these companies need to take it more seriously and be forced to take it more seriously, because the reality is, like, it can be a costly endeavor that's not necessarily going to make them the bang for their buck that they want. But at the end of the day, it's about the importance of this media. And I think it goes to show, like, how much these companies actually care about the products that they're releasing if they aren't making them accessible in the long.
Yeah.
And if they're not
Sorry.
willing to do that, then there are plenty of people out there that you would consider pirates that are, and I would be much more willing to support those people's endeavor. Um, if these companies are going to continue to prove that they have no interest in doing.
Yeah, and like and I'm seeing like the people who are saying that they're going to, well, I want to get a new hobby, and that's the right. Like, I'm not going to argue against if that's what you want to choose to. Fine.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just
especially when that's the culmination of, like, so many things, right? It's
yeah,
not just
but
this decision, it's not just the expensive decision, it's all of it.
yeah, but I'm seeing people just because of the physical say that,
Okay.
and that's what I'm saying. Like yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is like those people who I'm seeing it now, and just because of physical, I'm like, dude, I mean, oh, so you're okay with the price hikes and everything? You're okay with
Where have you
games?
been the last 20 years in regards to any of that?
Yeah, are you okay with the going games $70 and now maybe $80? Are you okay with them like and the preservation? Why do you ask for preservation with digital? Like, why were you were just okay with the whole physical, even though you didn't, but because it's a physical thing, it felt more control. But
Yeah.
why weren't you okay with preservation of digital? Like, that should have been a thing too. Because if you weren't okay with that, if you're okay with how things are now, with them still doing digital like that, then that means like you so you just thought that this was gonna be it forever? Like they were going to still just keep doing physical media? Like,
yeah. And you have these people that are like that, right? Like they don't care. They just care about their disc. They don't care about the digital. They look at the digital people like us and go like, well, you deserve this. Like this is what you did to
I
us.
find that weird. It's like, so
it's
what's
like,
the hate?
well,
It's like,
shouldn't
okay,
you just care about preserving games regardless?
regardless, exactly.
There have been plenty of games that never made it out on a disc.
And it's and the whole like you just like you don't think about like we already talked about this the day one patch stuff with games. Like, come on, man. It's like, dude, like whatever. But yeah, so the whole preservation thing is like, no, you don't care. Like you didn't care. Like I mean, you listen. This is what you like to do. You like to get physical, and that's what you like, and that's fine. And now that's taking it away. But don't give me that bullshit. If you weren't somebody who was saying that all the whole time, because you didn't give a shit about preservation. So you know what? You can kiss my ass. Like you want to fine. Go do another hobby. Like if that's your reasoning. Like for me, it's not so much that I'm gonna say like I'm gonna get another hobby. I'm just the game. I'm not gonna get probably any new games unless they're able to play on what I have now. You know what I mean? And at a reasonable price. Like I'm not gonna be getting a PS3 or Xbox Helix or whatever it's going to be called. And it's not because of the freaking digital. I mean, because the plastic disc boxes are going away, whatever. It's because it's too expensive. Like that's why. That's the biggest reason. It's expensive. Like, and now them doing that, like that was a nail in the coffin. When the prices start raising, that was almost the nail in the coffin right there. This digital thing, like, I mean, hey, they wouldn't do it if it didn't make money. Like, you could say, like, Sony, like, you could say, they're going to learn, they're going to see that it's going to hurt them. And I was like, dude, no, they're not. That's not going to be the reason why it hurts them because of not having the plastic disc. That actually does help them. What might hurt them is just the economy itself. Like, but that's a different story. That's different. Like, that way is people buying. If people going to buy if because of how expensive it is. Like, what's the state of the world in that name? But like, now it's not going to be because of freaking physical copies of the game. Like, that move. They're making that move because they know that saves them money and it brings in probably maybe more money because of the storefront. And yeah, so it's like y'all were making like I said, like you said, I agree with you. They were making this argument before, like you people, like those people who are like them, I don't care about. Like for the people who were fighting for preservation, even with digital, then yes, I totally understand. If you're truly for game preservation, I think most of you people
and that fight
online,
can continue.
Yeah, but most of you people online, you're not. You weren't. You weren't at all. Like you're just what your physical copy, and which is fine. You as a consumer, you want what you want, and if the company doesn't give you what you want, fine. But don't let it hide behind like some morality shit. Like this company, like don't hide behind it because that's what you wasn't doing it before that. Yeah. I just wanted to.
Oh yeah, I was buying discs. And look at all of the EULAs in those discs. You don't own the thing on that disc, and you are playing a version that is being downloaded by your phone.
Exactly, and then that disc, and if you don't have that patch, play that game without that patch. Just see how that works out for you. Some games do.
Let me know how Cyberpunk is.
Like some games do work without the day one patch. Like some things are minimum. Like there may be an error or something, but it's not that big a deal. It may be minimum, but still, that's still not the game you bought. I mean, that's essentially not the a full game. Like the game that's what you're supposed to have. but whatever. Like that's what it comes down to is what I think is like. I mean, this is humans and self. Like we, like you said, with blissful ignorance. I mean, because it seemed like that works for a lot of things in life. Is the blissful because
Oh yeah.
if you know what's real, if you know what's really happened, you'll go crazy. You'll go freaking crazy, like for a lot of things in life. So it's like, damn, you're literally just like I just say like if Sony, that's the thing. Say so if Sony just says like, okay, we're giving you this spec, and if you say you're okay with that, then you were never for preservation because that's still not there. It's still not there. So it like they can literally just walk back this to this point. It's still not preservation. So it's all I got lie. It's like, dude, man, get out of here. Get out of here with this. Like you're fighting for the wrong things. Like mean at well not the wrong thing. It was more like the wrong timing. Like the reasoning. Your reasoning is not no. You had a lot of time to do this, and yet you didn't.
And
And
that's
people
what
can say
piracy
you
is
own.
for.
And people can say, see, they told you it's like you own digital is bad because you you don't own anything. And I said, yeah, but you technically didn't own anything. You were like I said, that was just yeah, you're
It's just a
just the
trophy for you.
illusion. Yeah, that's all that is. So like you just use up space with yours, and you can just say like, well, with mine, I can play it in 40 years. I say, well, in 40 years, dude, I don't think I'll be worried about this. I don't think I'm going to care about that game in 40 years. 40 years, I'll be 80. The fuck I'm going to be doing? Worried about playing some Gears of War. If I live to 80. like what the hell are we talking about here? Talking about some 40 years. Like now, if you're talking about like someone who's really young, like 10 years old or something, maybe. But put it like this: if gaming is still around and in 40 years for them, then they'll be fine because it'll probably be there for them to play. Or like you said, an emulator or something. Like if you're saying Sony's gonna shut down, play this. I'm saying this: if Sony is shut down or something, what you think another company came up and took their place? Like who? I think that's it. I don't think there's a company that comes after. I think the companies you see now, I think that is it. This is this Nintendo, Sony, and Mike and Xbox.
Because if
If
these
they
companies
go,
don't think that they're making money off of it, what
yeah.
startup's going to come in and
So what in what future when you say Sony shut down their store, what is the state of gaming? Like, are you telling me is only Nintendo available? That's what you're saying, or there's nobody available? Because that's what's going to be. It's either going to be Nintendo or nothing. Because there's nobody's going to come up and be like, we're going to be. There's a new company coming. That is not the state of the world now, man. That don't happen anymore. Like there are no new companies. People merge or they go. Like there is no like new company coming up saying like Panasonic coming up and saying like we're going to do the 3DO or something. You ain't getting that shit. The most you'll get is what you got. What last year with that little cube thing? What was that thing called?
oh
That
yeah.
that's the most you'll get. Something like that. So yeah, if it ever comes to that, man, there's probably some other problems to deal with. So I ain't worried about that.
Definitely other. So I think here to this point, right? That if you want to make the argument about preservation, whether it be physical or digital, I think the biggest issue that we as consumers could run into, and this is something that I've supported, is game streaming. Because if we were to move into a position where the only way that you can access a game is via game streaming, I think that is more susceptible to being taken offline. I think it's more susceptible to being difficult to making a backup of, pirating, essentially.
Yes.
So that is the issue that we should be pushing back on right now. If we are truly talking about games preservation as an issue, that is where our focus should be, in addition to obviously everything else. But we should be telling companies that they have to have accessible versions of these games for people. Otherwise, we're just not going to buy the games. And we need to be willing to put our money where our mouth in large forces. It can't be, hey, I'm not going to pre-order GTA 6 and then on day one, me and every person on my friends list is playing GTA 6. Oh man, it's the hot fall behind on this. I still got to buy it, whether I pre-order it or not. We gotta stand by our convictions. And, if it means not buying a PlayStation, which is only going to be made easier by these price hikes and these expensive, you announce a PS6 next year, and I don't buy it because it's over $1,000, that boycott just became a lot easier for me, Dominic, because I wasn't gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully that makes it easier on everybody. In an economy like this, we cannot do that. The problem is, we still have this economy where it's the middle that's down. It's not everybody necessarily.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's still people who can buy, because I think they even see that, like the outlook, like these
And
companies.
they do. That's exactly what it is. And they're taking advantage of them. So they don't
if they
care.
really, if they really want the, like, people, like you said, like people who are poor, like who get the games when they get the consoles when they go down price, like when you got like $99 for a GameCube or something like that. And like the games are cheaper, Player's Choice, Greatest Hits, and all them platinum. Like if that was really a big money maker for them, like they wouldn't have done this. They would never have done this.
Yeah.
Like they see that, hey, we can still make money if we cut out those people.
Possibly more money with lower effort.
Yeah.
Because it really makes me wonder if the reason why, now that you bring that up, if the reason why we don't see slim versions of consoles, cheaper versions of console, is because these companies are no longer putting design work into minimizing the footprint, working with, smaller SoCs, kind of the stuff that we would see in the advancements of smaller, cheaper consoles, and are now focusing on that top end by putting that R&D work behind like a PlayStation Pro or an Xbox X, Xbox One X. If that's why we're seeing the direction move in that way and not in the opposite direction, or is it exclusive because RAM is increasing? What about all of the other components? Shouldn't all of the other components have gotten cheaper? And therefore, if you have to spend more on the RAM, potentially evens out a little more. But no, instead we're doubling and tripling prices.
Thing is,
I don't know. I just love to see the books of these companies and see where the money is being spent, how it's being, versus what it used to look like.
Why did Nintendo not raise the price of the original Switch? That was because of the tariffs.
You mean why did they raise it now after the Switch 2 came out?
The original Switch, like years ago.
Right.
That was because of the tariffs.
What do you mean?
No, I'm saying like if it's because of the tariffs they raised that price, why can't they go back down? like or like yeah, and
Well, and I'm still confused on that, honestly. Like, I don't know where we are with pricing in relation to tariffs because stuff was deemed illegal, but then we just put new different tariffs in place somehow that aren't illegal or aren't illegal until we challenge them in court again. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of messiness around that. Yeah, to the point of just greed. It's once we've raised our price, we don't really have to lower our price
oh
until
yeah,
we
why did Sony raise their price overseas the first time?
see people drastically until we see a drastic drop off in people buying our thing. Why would we need to, right?
Like, well, Sony, you remember they dropped their price,
Raise their price,
the
right?
first time.
What you mean?
Huh? Well, overseas
Raise
when
their
they
price.
when they not,
Yeah.
I mean raise their price. I'm sorry, raise their price overseas. Why did they like? What was the reasoning behind that?
My understanding of that was at least a portion of it was kind of a way to get around raising the prices in the US because they were affected by things like the tariffs. And it now costs them more to sell in the US. But
I
that's
didn't
their
know
biggest market.
The tariffs were then? I thought that was before Trump got office.
Was it?
First, like the very first time when PlayStation raised their price, I could have sworn that was before Trump got office.
Okay. Yeah, I'm confusing timelines. But I think in a condensed version, the arguments that they're always going to make is COVID, and then
I think that's what
hardware,
it was. I think it was COVID.
Because even the long tail of COVID, right, was that some of these factories that were making their things, and then the distribution and the logistics of it, a lot of that stuff got shut down, which cost them money, and so on and so forth. So in a lot of ways, there was never kind of like a relief period, right? Like, at least what they would tell you. Again, that's why I'd be interested to see what their actual numbers look like, because you can see the timeline where they say, okay, well, things are kind of messed up from COVID. All right, we're kind of recovering here. Oh no, second Trump presidency, tariffs, things of that nature. I just don't know that I'm willing to necessarily.
Hold up, man! You cut out on me again. It seems like when you go low, yo, your mic don't pick it up on my.
Like my gate's not higher or anything. There's something weird about when it's recording at this lower volume. Anyway. Yeah, so basically, like, I can see where these companies would make the argument, but like this is why we need strong consumer protections. Someone that can look over these numbers and go like, "Hey, this is made up. Like, you're lying at this point." That kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, I don't trust these companies to do anything except to do whatever is required of them to make more and more money.
Exactly, like these profits and stuff. Like when I see that you made so much money in profit, I could see if it was like, maybe they made profit, but it was like, they got through the skin of their teeth or something. That's like,
it's just barely,
This is why they raised the price. That I get it now, but y'all making records, yo. Like this ain't that don't make any sense then. Why the prices got
it's
raised?
hard to justify any of this stuff. Is like you see these companies still making profits. You still see these CEOs. Like, what was the most genuine thing that we saw out of Nintendo when the 3DS failed? Their top brass took pay cuts to keep everybody else on board and thriving. Well, I don't know about thriving, but on board, and
they're crazy.
In our mentality, yes, absolutely. Like that is not a thing to my knowledge, I've ever seen.
No, me neither. I've never seen it either.
And
Enron
I
did it. The
think
guy from
that
Enron did it.
I thought you said LeBron did it for a second. I was like, oh man.
No,
Yeah,
oh
he took a
no,
pay cut on
yeah.
the Lakers so he could get all these other good guys, like his son.
Enron, the guy from Enron was going to do it,
Yeah.
but then that happened.
And then they blew up. Yeah. They were like, oh, we can't let him do this. He didn't actually do anything wrong, though. So yeah, there's all that. And then to kind of pivot out of that, Dominic, I Sony had the worst idea as far as like how to couple news this week because people were complaining about physical media going away and how that took away our ownership, and then also announced that they were shutting down the PlayStation 3 and Vita stores.
Oh, yeah.
Which then makes it so that I can no longer buy one of those games digitally. And I don't know quite where PlayStation 3 emulation is. I think it's actually relatively good now. We're getting there. I think Vita emulation has been there for a while, or at least playing backups on the actual hardware. I guess I've never really looked at Vita emulation per se since I had a Vita. So again, there's an argument there, but I think the argument that we're making is kind of askew. There's definitely an argument to be made about my ability to access my digital PS3 games and Vita games, or games that I want to buy in the future, whether it be games that I already bought and should be able to access and download. And usually that has been the case, that they have allowed you to do that stuff. But then what if in the future I want to buy a Vita game? Oh, I got a Vita all of a sudden. I got one at a flea market. I want to be able to play some games. How am I going to be able to do that? You know what? Because they're getting rid of the store and because they've given me no legal means to do that, I look towards piracy. That's how it is. Like, that's the reality.
They're going to say, well, no, you got to get PS5 and play through our PlayStation Plus to play those games.
Can't do that.
We don't have all of them. Even though we don't have all of them.
And that's the thing. Exactly. So if you've diminished my ability to do that, then I'm going to seek out the other options I have. Yeah. And now I know this was also tied to a story of Sony getting rid of a whole bunch of movies on there that people have purchased digitally as well.
Isn't that like a license thing?
I didn't really look into that as much because I had never really bought PlayStation movies.
It's not like directly from, it's from the store, but isn't it like through another company or something? And the company,
my understanding is, there was some licensing agreement that Sony had that is run out, and as such, they no longer have, access to those movies. To me, that's not necessarily an excuse. I don't understand why you wouldn't make that license something in perpetuity. Because if I'm buying it from you, now I do wonder if somewhere down in the, fine print, it says, you do not own this movie and we could revoke this at any point in time. And then again,
they should not be able to sell it. I'm sorry. Like, it should be.
Exactly.
This is why.
That is the argument we should be making to them.
Like, this is why I personally didn't, but you gave the people the option. Like, to buy a movie online, like, I feel like, man, it should be either rented or you're gonna have, like, if you can't say that you can keep this forever, like something like this movie can stay here forever, you're always gonna have this, you can't sell it. You can't sell. You're gonna have to say you only can rent the movies out. Because no, it should not be my library goes away. Or like, and this is where the government should step in and say, like, you got to give them a refund. You got to give them a refund that money, like what Google did with Stadia, refund their money. Like that should be the penalty. You say like, hey, if you're gonna make this business, if you're gonna sell this item, when you do go under, you owe your customers money. And if you don't want to do that, then you can't.
Well, now you're hindering business. No business country have to agree to that.
And that's like you hinder. It's like, yeah, I am. I say, yeah, I'm hindering your business to fuck over my citizens. That's what I'm hindering. And you're damn right I am. It's freaking ridiculous. I mean, and then you can argue that with games too. Like, hey, they buy the games. If you ever, for some reason, you ever go under, which like that's the thing, is like you just can't. Like, you shut their store down, and they can't. If they bought their games, they have to still be able to get it. So, prepare to like the consequences is that you're gonna have to pay if that happens. But that's the thing. Like the idea is that Sony and like the big companies have storefronts. They're gonna work their ass off to keep them going. Then you know, you don't want to.
All right, Dominic. In related news, Xbox, it seems all but confirmed they are also not going to have a disk drive in the Project Helix console when they come out. But allegedly,
don't say that, Daniel. The Xbox fans said, "No, this is the Xbox tax."
I gotta rile them up so they'll go on
This is the Xbox tax, Daniel, because they said that Sony confirmed their news. Why are you reporting Xbox when they haven't confirmed theirs? I just want bad news for Xbox. I'm like, dude,
of course.
Oh my
it's
God.
Especially true when I'm going to go on Twitter and do a poll, and Asha Sharma is going to be like, "Do you want a disk drive?" And then everybody on Twitter is going to say, "Absolutely, yes." So
now there was one report that was false about something. What they say? Oh, about Xbox shutting down a studio. It was
yes,
yeah. That was false.
There was some talk that Obsidian, I believe, is the studio, was in negotiations. Jason Schreier said that is not true. Now, Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb, and also he's a kind of scooper guy. He's a guy that gets stuff ahead of. He's basically said that that may not be true now, but there's a very good chance that when that was reported, it may have been true. And things are moving so fast at Xbox right now. Decisions are being made every hour, every day versus weeks and months, that it basically look for the space between where both things can be true, right?
And that's what I was saying, because I was saying, like, because the person who reported it was gaming. Damn, what was it? I forgot what they were. Because I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is like a site that does stuff. They wouldn't do this on purpose to hurt them.
Yeah, and that's what Jeff Grubb said, is basically like the guy that reported this is not a guy that would just pull that out of his ass. That is something that he heard from inside the company.
And well, then people start pulling and say, oh, no, he was bought by Sony. They pull up the sponsorships and stuff. Like, that was something where it says, we like to thank these companies, like, for something. And Sony was one of them. And I was like, oh my God. Jesus. I'm like, dude, I don't think it is what make it. Listen, I don't care if Sony did, it wouldn't look good, yo, if they did that. Like people, like how you obviously caught seeing it, and you're saying like, oh, look at you, this is a lie. Like, that's why they would have done that. Thing is, I think there's some truth to what they said, but it's not. Yeah, but something got So, but it, like you said, it moved so fast. Like, it's not no more. Like, but I think something came to them. I came to them that they felt that was reliable. I don't think it's like a blatant lie. Like, they blatantly lied or something like that. It's like, dude. But back to the Xbox digital thing. Yeah, like people, they're angry. I saw people angry about people saying this. Like, I was like, dude, people say rumors or stuff all the time that, and it's not just them pulling out the ass. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
somebody they heard something, but it's just not officially told yet by Xbox. And then that's what somebody says. So wait a minute, are you telling me you just want news unless it comes from the mouth of the company? Because then you'll never get a lot of shit. You won't get a lot of shit.
And that's what a lot of these people do want.
Yeah, I was like, darn, y'all want so you it's like you just told me you want to be ignorant. Like you want to be ignorant of anything unless it's literally told by the mouth of the company. It's like that's what reporting is, you jackass.
Yeah. So it's kind of absurd where we're at right now, and it sounds like maybe by the time you hear this podcast that the shoe is dropped finally. The fiscal
And they are going to have
quarter
a disc
for
drive.
Xbox is
I'm going to have a disc drive. Yeah.
The fiscal quarter for Xbox is over now, and this is kind of when we saw the shit hit the fan last year, and we saw Perfect Dark canceled and the initiative closed down, along with the Fable project or the Rare project being canceled, a whole bunch of it sounds like even that was kind of up in the air, that potentially last week was going to be immediately following the closure of the fiscal year. That was when we were going to see it. And now it's potentially Monday or some point this week. I just feel for these developers that are basically sitting at home trying to celebrate the 4th of July holiday and having to contend with the fact that on Monday they might find out that they've lost their jobs. It's really messed up. And and the fact that like it seems like they're kind of touting it as like, oh, Xbox is being run like a startup now. They're not, though. I mean, they're not a startup. They're being run like a startup, which means move fast and break things. But like, there's only so much breaking you can do. This isn't a startup. This is an established company with established brands. And the idea that we could lose a lot of gaming's, not only history but experience. When you fire all of these people, you're firing people that may be brand new to the industry, but you're also firing people that have so much experience in this industry, and it's becoming so much harder and harder to find a job in this industry that you're just going to lose them. They're going to go on and make financial programs or any number of other things if they're even able to find that kind of work.
We're
and we're never going to see that experience. What's that?
Work at data centers.
Shit. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's going to be only so much work that is going to be available. And how are you going to make your $500 million games with less and less experience in the industry? They're going to turn out shittier and shittier. They're going to take longer and longer to make. And that's just going to put you in a worse situation. Like, it is absolutely insane the way the short-term thinking.
That's how many games are going to be released for PS6? Because we saw with the PS5, like, how many remakes we freaking got, right? Like, how many new games are going to be released for the PS6?
All of these platforms are being hoisted up by
Xbox Halo. I mean, because I guess I'm just under the impression that Xbox is not going to somehow that. Well, I wonder if Xbox is going to be sold or what. I don't know, or just go away, because I'm just curious about like what's their strategy. I don't know what the fuck their strategy is. Like, I mean, I don't know what
they don't
the
know
strategy they do.
Clearly,
yeah, I just like Microsoft. Like, I don't, like you were saying, why have them on? Like, it's I don't know.
I think Microsoft's strategy right now is we put Asha Sharma in place to slim this down, whether that means pack it up so we can send it off to somebody else at a decent cost, or get the reins in order to keep it on board at a much lower cost to us. And I think they're relatively hands off in that way. Like they put their person in place. They've told her what needs to happen, and they're going to give her a short amount of time to figure out which one of those things is going to happen. And then from there, they're going to come back in and they're going to go, well, you did not clean up enough in here. We're going to get rid of this business. Or, okay, you did an awesome job. You cut 20 different studios, but we still got Bethesda over there making a Skyrim 7 or whatever. They can continue to do their business. We'll keep this around for now, but maybe don't fuck up anymore.
Yeah, we're just gonna focus on Gemini.
Excuse me, sir, Copilot.
Copilot, yes.
Although I'm trying to think. I heard that it was Facebook, I think, that their AI is so terrible that basically they've had to give money to Google to use Gemini. Which is just so sad considering how much money I'm sure Meta / Facebook.
Get Cortana back.
Xbox brand is dead, Dominic. We definitely don't. They definitely don't care about it being Cortana. That is wild that they had such good synergy there, and then they gave her rampancy, and then obviously she could no longer be our digital.
Yeah, we had somebody against Alexis. Alexis and Siri.
All right. Yeah. And Google. Hey, Google. They didn't come up with a clever name.
Yeah, they ain't come with a cover name for Google. Well, now Google has Gemini, so I guess that's did it say, hey, that's what it is.
Going to be the. All right, let's circle back to what the original story of this actually was, Dominic. Xbox is testing internally a disc to digital program for the Xbox One and Xbox Series games, which would allow players to put in their physical copy, get basically a digital entitlement, which would then allow them to play that game digitally on streaming. Basically like the equivalent of you having bought it digitally.
Almost similar to what they were talking about with the Xbox One.
Xbox One.
Yeah. And then E3. It was very confusing for us then. We haven't evolved yet. I
don't know, Dominic. I feel like even you and I at that time were like, this seems okay.
Well, because I was digital. I was okay with digital.
Yeah, and that was the thing. We were digital. We were online 99% of the time. So it wasn't going to have an effect on us. And it sounded like, we can do more things online with the games. Like, that seems all right.
Yeah. They took stuff away from me. This is they ended up taking my picture away too, because I my television don't do that anymore.
I used to be able to do threes in the corner of my game or whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So now the interesting part of this to me is that they say that if that physical copy goes to a different person, then those digital entitlements would also carry over to that. But I didn't realize that video games were serialized in that way. Like the information on the disc is different enough for a console to recognize that is a different disc than the other. Like if I have 2 copies of Gears of War, for instance, right? Like I didn't realize that we were at a point where the console could figure out that those were 2 different copies.
Yeah, they serialized them. They all came from Auschwitz. They all got the numbers.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I think this is obviously a positive. It could have happened very, very earlier. We're talking about an industry that, like the entertainment industry, has already kind of done that with Blu-rays, right? Like you get a digital copy with your movie. I saw a lot of people talking about how, Blu-rays have done physical media still. And like it's very obvious that Blu-rays are dying. They don't occupy the same shelf space that they once did in any store. So like they're maybe behind the eight ball, to be honest with you. Like
I don't know how
now,
much and I don't know how much expensive the expenses with those companies to do Blu-ray. I don't
yeah,
know how that works
yeah, me neither.
compared to a game.
The other thing is like the reason why you see that industry go the way it is and become more of a niche thing is because of these streaming services that offer different video game or movies. Because let me tell you, Dominic, like I'm not really willing to buy a digital movie. Occasionally, a rare occasion, I might rent one. But otherwise, I'm just waiting for it to show up on one of these streaming services.
Yeah, so am I.
Because there's not a single movie anymore that I feel like I need to own per se, that I need to be able to access at any given time of day,
Or the
that
open
I
seas.
probably can't do. What's that?
Or the open seas.
Well, I mean, and that's the other option, right? When you get to it, like, yeah, if I'm going on all these streaming services and I can't find that movie anywhere, and sometimes you can't even buy them, yeah, that is again always an option. And that comes at the risk of these companies. I don't think it is inherently morally wrong to pirate a digital thing. We're not taking a physical copy of anything away from anybody when you do so. And if the reason why you're doing it is because there is no other way for you to obtain that thing, what's the issue there? Again, it goes back to if these companies are not providing you a way to legally obtain, then what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to download the ROM and then send Nintendo $5? Like is that how I get around it? No, you didn't want to put, I don't know, say Turok 7. You didn't put Turok 7 on the Nintendo Switch Online thing, and whatever company owns the license to Turok. I guess I should use the first part to make more sense.
Yeah,
you didn't put
Nintendo,
Mario Party 7 on.
See, it wasn't enough of y'all.
And
that's another reason I'm pissed off. Well, really, I mean, that's not some of the physical people's fault on that, but the people who didn't fight against Nintendo with their virtual console thing, like,
yeah,
I feel like there should have been more outcry on that.
Where was that? Yeah, people bought games, myself included, bought games on that virtual console with the idea that, okay, going forward, I'll have these games. Yeah, and then we lost them.
Nintendo, and it wasn't no bullshit about like, oh, we can't. It's hard to move this to this new console. No, you could. It ain't have to be. No, it ain't have to be that store. But you knew what I fucking purchased. Could have made a new store and put that goddamn purchases there. Yep. It's like that's bull. I was like, that's bullshit. I was like, you freaking assholes. And now you want to charge like full price for games forever? Like give me like every now and then give me a game like $20 less than what it was on a sale.
Maybe.
First party game. Yeah, it's like man, get the hell out of here.
Disney Vaultification Nintendo games. All right, Dominic, speaking of Nintendo, the one piece of positive news that I have here.
He should have left.
The only piece of positive news I have here, and this is kind of just a rumor right now, but it's coming from the Brazil ratings board, that there's a new Metroid game called Metroid Ravenous, Dominic, and this, of course, people are speculating.
It's canceled.
Shut
your mouth. Be canceled.
This is an Xbox. Don't you dare. This, of course, people are expecting would be a follow-up to a 2D Metroid, to Dread specifically. The ending of that game would indicate as to why Samus might be ravenous, or there might be a
that
ravenous
sounds
Metroid.
very sexual thing or something.
I mean, I think that's part of it, Dominic. I think that's what Nintendo's going for. So yeah, I mean, we just had kind of the E3 equivalent out of Nintendo. And we didn't see anything Metroid related. This is, I believe, like one of the anniversaries. I think the 40th or 30th anniversary of the original Metroid. I guess it would be 40, 86. There was some talk and rumors of a Super Metroid remake. Honestly, as much as I would potentially love that, but also potentially hate that, I'm all for a new game. And if this is another one made by Mercury Steam, who made Metroid Dread, and if this is a game that's coming out within the next year, whether it be, 2026 or early 2027, I am very, very excited at that point for this to just kind of come out of nowhere, especially.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm looking at this Popeye. They have the Papa Marathon today. This is the 4th of July, and I guess it's like the marathon for Boomerang.
Yes, Popeye, the most American of heroes.
Yeah. There's more animation in like one scene than like probably like 3 episodes of Invincible. I mean, that is just freaking amazing. how what they did back then, or is maybe it's not amazing, and Invincible is just so fucking cheap. I mean, and it's from the witches. A
little bit of column A, little column B situation. But... I mean, the thing that's so crazy about that, though, right, Dominic, is the fact that in those preceding years, we got computers which were supposed to make that work a lot easier. Like, we should just have the smoothest looking things, because I can draw, this frame and this keyframe, and then have the computer animate everything in between it, instead of having someone literally hand drawing every single frame per second. How did things just not get better, Dominic? It's weird, right? Weird. Why don't we stick AI on this problem?
And then they still make more money. I don't. They still cost more. Yeah, and it costs more. That ain't better, and it costs more. And yeah, like, and the thing is, Invincible, it's not even an Amazon really. I mean, it's not like, oh, the animated series on Amazon are cheap. No, Vox Machina doesn't even get near the budget as Invincible, and they have better animation than them.
Yeah.
Now, someone said that it's because they had a dispute with the animation, whatever animators or something. So the guy who did the show opened up his own studio.
Interesting.
But I'm like, can you go to some other animators then? Can you go to whoever the Vox Machina animators are then and get them? Because it's like you have a bigger budget, and some people are saying like, oh, no, because they're paying the stars. So I was like, no, I don't think the stars cost that much. And if they do, then they overpaying, and that's a problem. Because those guest stars don't last that much long on the episode. And so, like, there was a guest star who said like 2 lines one time. So I'm like, dude, then they need to stop doing that and just pay animation, because like, it's a good show. Like, you have a good story here. Your soul sucks. I mean, your animation sucks. And like, when my dad says that, who's not particularly like all, he's not like cultured in film and nothing like that. And he just says like, man, it just don't look as good. And I'm like, that's a problem to me, because it's like, he's not a guy who should notice that. All right. All right. So I guess that's it. So we got new releases.
Yep, we got new release, at least. Rhythm Heaven Groove is now on the Nintendo Switch, Dominic. There is also a demo of that, which I had never gotten around to downloading, but I was, as of the beginning of this
Fill out
podcast,
these new releases,
downloading
Daniel.
that.
Say
That's
some of
the
these,
only thing I saw.
These
Are you going to go to the
adult
big
games? It's like, nah, I ain't going to look at that.
Yeah.
It's the future, though,
I'm
Daniel.
sure
So
there's a
adult
lot
games.
of rhythm games involved in that, Dominic.
Future in gaming, Daniel. The cheap gaming, the adult games.
I mean, those are the games that are still being made in the future, Dominic. Right alongside the indie games. That might be it. Yeah. So Rhythm Heaven, I believe it is scoring pretty well from what I saw. That's cool. It's not a game that I'm like bursting at the seams to play, but I do like those Rhythm Heaven games. They're very similar to.
Have I played them? Maybe I played a demo. I just don't remember. I gotta try this demo out.
Very similar to WarioWare games, to us. Rhythm Heaven existed before WarioWare, but WarioWare became far more popular in the States before Heaven kind of reemerged again. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm vaguely interested in that. I would definitely play the demo of that. And yeah, that's all I got. Dominic, what about you?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStalworth5. I'm MB. The podcast is at SupaPod, SUPAPOD. We are on Bluesky.com, at regulusmb.sky.social, and at DinoMan at Dominic Stallworth, Blue Sky Social. We also have a website where there's all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast. There's also all of the audio places that you would normally find a podcast: iTunes, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Audible, and anywhere else. And until next time, guys, see you.
All right, see ya.